I think we're here we go. So what's up everybody? I feel like we haven't done this a lot, just going live, but like the thing is Cobra Kai. We've made this a tradition and not just with just me, but I love to have other people on and Omni Media of course has been around doing these reactions for a while as well. And I've enjoyed having him on the stream, year after year.
Yeah,
So,
man.
it only makes sense that we close it out. So, we have part 2, and then, of course, part 3 is coming out, I believe in, like, January or February.
Well, who
Yeah,
I mean,
I think I
they put that date up and then they took it down. Did
yeah. So,
like
we'll definitely have to be patient.
so
Sucks, but,
I'm hoping I'm
yeah,
hoping because we know they've early dropped in the past before,
yeah.
so I'm hoping that's not pushed out. Maybe we're
Like,
gonna
I
get
know
it a little
100% we're not
earlier.
getting it till 2025, like, that goes without
Yeah.
saying.
So
Oh,
maybe New
man.
Year's?
Oh, I am so
A
ready to
little New
talk
Year's
about this.
present like they did that one time, maybe?
You think so? How cool would
Uh,
that be?
I mean, it'd be nice to set it a little bit further away from the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I also I mean, we're gonna dive into a lot of things such as, the movie too, because I know a lot of people have their thoughts on that, and that is one thing I wanna talk about, but first, I do wanna say, like, part 1 was fun, I enjoyed it, but I personally believe part 2 knocked it out of the water. Like, I think it was far superior than part 1. I know some people had some stuff to say about the story, I don't know, but me personally, I thought the action like, when I
Mhm.
watch, these karate movies, I'm sorry, but I'm watching it for the crazy choreography and the different things like that, and I think this delivered more than any of the other, well, especially part 1. I don't know where you
Yeah.
stand on that.
No, once we get to the tournament, man, I mean, it's pretty much just all on. We had
Mhm.
a fight or series of fights in every episode that at least wasn't like, how can we justify having a karate brawl wherever we currently are? Oh, we're at the arcade? Karate fight. Oh, we're at a college party? Karate fight.
Yeah,
Like at
and
least here we're at a karate tournament for the entirety of the part. It makes a lot more sense.
yeah, and, I think it's the one of the funniest things to me, at least, is, like, knowing where we started. This was like a high school tournament.
Mhm.
And how far we've kind of fallen. Like we were at a point where this is just a high school karate tournament to get this kid's confidence up a little bit and help him learn to defend himself a little bit. We end this season with a kid killing himself. So it's kind of a little bit of a little bit of a stretch.
Little
A
bit
little
of a
bit of
whoopsie doodle.
it's a little bit of a whoopsie do, yeah. Um but I think that they handled it really well because I don't know how you felt about the Quan character. At the end of the day, he was still a kid,
Mhm.
and, if we can see Chosen change as well as he did, it's like it's just sad knowing that that's how this kid went out. Someone who was a little corrupted by someone who's kind of a douche?
At the end
But,
of the day,
where
there's
do you
no
feel
bad
there?
students, only bad
Yeah.
teachers.
Yes,
But I
exactly.
think this is like the only way for them to consider the seriousness of this act, about how far this has been going. By this point, like I'm our guys, I think they've all kind of learned this lesson, but the people that are still hanging on to this is Kreese, and
Mm,
that whole ideology is still so firmly rooted in the fact that he's still so confident in it that he's still trying to brainwash Tori, even going into the final thing. Um, like I finally got my finale reaction out earlier today, and one of the
yeah, I
things
saw
that
that.
said was like, you know, he's trying to convince her that you're alone in this world, that they have to take whatever they want. He's even gaslighting himself, talking about his experience with friends, and all the things he's saying are the things that he's just ignoring the fact that all of his behaviors is why Terry did all of these things
Mhm.
to him. And
And
then she, at the end of this too, when he's like, "Hey, out there, they're your enemies. You don't have friends." But when the shit hit the fan, and she was backed into a corner, it didn't matter what team she was on. And look who showed up, Sam and
yep.
Robbie, to back her up.
Yeah, and,
Like it's just like it's a lie. and then he gets this kid killed. Like, that's all I'm
Oh,
saying. Like,
100%,
like
100%. If he didn't have that in the first place, none of this would happen. But it was really interesting because it's like we have a scene earlier on in part two with Johnny, where
mhm.
Johnny straight up has like a crease moment, like where he is trying to lecture the kids, and he ends up kind of bringing it felt like he was projecting more
Mhm.
than actually kind of teaching them something. He's like, "You guys are gonna lose this, and then you're gonna go home, and you guys are gonna become pathetic drunks. You're not gonna have a job." And then he's just
Yeah.
kind of like diving into it, and it's just like, dude, like there's
I
some
love it.
serious projection there, man. And
Yeah.
and I was hoping that he would
You're gonna be
realize
hanging
it.
up this TV on the wrong wall for this
Exactly.
crazy lady.
But it's just one of those things where I was expecting him to kind of like realize that what he was doing. But I believe that was the scene that kind of led into everyone kind of letting out their beef, which of course was
Mhm.
extremely important for them to kind of continue and kind of end up where they ended up. And
Yeah.
I think we had one of the like I think that was a really fun moment because not only did we have a moment where of course Dimitri needed to shut up about MIT, but Hawk called him out on that, told him to shut the F up, which I thought was extremely
Well,
funny.
I mean, like, even in one of the moments, like, when they were in the hotel, he didn't even mention it. He just like, "I would like to keep some brain cells." Like, which is a very relevant thing when you're going into a physical thing where you're gonna get rocked in the head multiple times. Like, I mean, football players like run into this issue all the time. Like, I don't even think he intentionally meant it that, but they've been so petty about this bullshit the entire time. Hawk just assumed that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, and it's
Those
just
two were so frustrating this
they
section.
were, and
Oh
it's
my
like,
god.
the binary bros have always been like one of my favorite things. And
Mhm.
Chosen yelling binary bros, was that in this season? Or was that
I don't even remember him
I
yelling it.
think there was a scene where he yelled like binary bros or something like that. I think it was when they finally started clicking again.
Mhm.
But that's one thing I was really excited for, like because I knew they had to get past the beef. And one of the other circumstances were with Samantha when she looked at Devin, and she said what everyone else was feeling. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
personally, I love Devin and Dimitri as characters, but to see where they were and to know that they are like they've been hyping up the Sekai Taikai for so long. So to see these two characters on that stage, where I'm just like questioning if there was maybe other potential candidates that could have been up there instead,
Mhm.
it just made me like I was like, "Okay, someone needs to at least tell them this, tell them what I'm feeling." And so for
Yeah.
Sam to go up to her and be like, "Hey, like, I don't even know why you're here. Like, just sit down, bro. Like, you're yeah, like, like, she just told her to sit her ass down." And for some reason, it was a little, like, it felt decent because I knew at the time she didn't reveal everything that she did to Kenny. So it's just like there was a lot of beef, I feel like, with the viewers and her. But,
Yeah.
I do wanna kind of address this comment. Might be a hot take, but season 6 is easily the weakest season, in my opinion. I don't know where you stand on that. I personally believe that part 1 was kind of weak. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was we've gotten, I think it was season 4. Either season 4 or 5, I know I felt like it was a little so-so.
Mhm.
But, I don't know, I mean, the fact that part 2 gave us specific moments that I think were, like, game changers, and on top of that, stuff that we've all wanted to see, and I think the action took such a step up, I don't really wanna call it that weak. I mean, the weakest, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wait until it's all done,
Yeah,
but because we don't have the whole picture, we're still in the technically in the middle of it. Well, we're
yeah.
past the middle of it, but you know what I mean.
Nah, for sure, for sure.
We don't know where
We're,
this
like,
is gonna
66
go, what's gonna come
yeah.
out of this. We got our Miyagi like backdoor pilot
Mhm.
in this
That was
theoretically.
so interesting. Like, the actor that they
That
pulled out
guy
yeah,
looks like a young Miyagi.
and the voice too. Everything
Yeah,
there was just, like, to a T
it
Miyagi.
was so good.
And then I
Um,
didn't expect that whole CG moment, but, I'll let you finish.
yeah,
Yeah.
we could have done without that.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
They didn't have the budget to pull that off. They got away with the de-aged Johnny once,
Yo,
like
for sure. Oh, yeah,
with
yeah,
that
with the
little
crease.
scene. He
Yeah.
was in kind of not completely lit.
Mhm, so
Like if
worked.
you look at it too long, like you definitely see the cracks, but like this was like literally in your face. Um, so I was like, ah. we could have just stuck with the young one. I
Mhm.
think that would have been fine. But um, yeah, I don't know, man. There's some really interesting stuff that they can kind of pull out of that. And who knows? For all we know, we don't know the circumstances around that death. We don't know that he, with his own bare hands, killed this guy.
Yeah.
We had this Quan situation. It could have been somebody really out for him, and they fucked up. We don't
Yeah,
know.
and I totally get that, 'cause it's like, a majority of the people watching that were there, if they saw the whole Axel and Quan situation, a lot of them could easily point the finger at Axel,
Hmm.
without actually knowing the whole kind of situation. But,
Right.
yeah, I mean, we're diving into, like, episode 10, and I feel like, it's just that episode is so important for what's to come. It's, like, kind of, for me, overshadowing everything else that kind of happened, even though we had a lot of cool moments, a lot of sad moments. One of my favorite moments in the series is the emotional effect that or the relationship that Johnny and Miguel have, and we saw a scene, I believe it was in season 3, where, Johnny called Miguel Robbie. And, it was when Johnny was extremely drunk, and it was just like a whole it was a whole thing. We see
Hmm.
Miguel cry, it was a whole thing. So, to have a moment in this, episode where, you know, he says straight up to Miguel, like, "You are my son too."
Yeah.
To see, like, the acting by Jolo, or, it's just like, it's phenomenal. Like, I just feel like they knocked it
Yeah.
out of the park with, some of the scenes, because 'cause I'm not always watching Cobra Kai for the acting, like, I don't
Hmm.
expect insane, stuff, but, like, they absolutely killed it, even if it was the scene when they go to see Carmen and they see the hospital bed covered in blood, and it's just
That
like,
was so
see,
mean.
that was a lot. That was so unnecessary too,
Hmm.
but, as a viewer, like, to see Johnny's instant reaction, I feel like William Zabka's acting chops are really put on display there
Yeah.
when we see him, like, on his knees, and it's just like, dude, like, this is so good compared to some of the other, like, scenes that we've gotten. Like, they're really showing off, like, their ability to act, man, and I don't know if there's a specific scene that you wanna point out that really kind of stuck out with you acting wise?
I don't
I
know,
know there's a
man.
lot. There's a lot.
The scene on the plane and with Johnny and Miguel, and then that little moment you mentioned were, I think, 2 that really kinda stand out as far as, like, what I would say, like, really good scene work from everybody involved. Um, I can't really think of, like, in this section where there was anything that really kinda hammered into that real all that much, but yeah, I don't know. I do
I
think,
am
like, again, like, my only gripe, I think, with this section, at least, is it's kind of a similar thing with part 1. Well, part 1 was a lot of setup, It was a
mhm,
lot of, like, here, we're just kinda catching up with everybody, and then we're gearing up to whatever the next thing is, so I don't really have this problem so much in part 1, but, like, there's like, here, there's there's just so much, I feel like, forced conflict that
okay,
kind of takes away from some of the moments where I just feel like some of it just feels like padding at times, but I
okay.
didn't know how to navigate this. And like you mentioned before, like, we were like, with part 1, you're like, "Well, how these picks?" And, like, it feels like the redundancy of undoing the picks at the end of the day felt like we coulda just skipped those and not had that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, that was something that irked a lot of people too? So, like, I don't know. So there's I have a little bit of a, as much as, like, I still, like, when I'm watching it, I'm like, "Fuck yeah." Like, well, unless it's Dimitri and Hawk and they open their mouths this season and I wanna just die a little inside. Um, it's just been a lot of fun to just I just to get distracted once we get into the spectacle of it all sometimes, but, like, once it's settled, like, yeah, it is a little bit of a messy season, but it's also not unfamiliar territory with the show. But then that's where you're kinda hitting, like, these repeated motifs that they just keep reusing, like, "Oh, here Johnny and Daniel having another
Oh my
lover
god,
spat
yes.
again."
Yeah,
And I
and
I
I'm
like that
glad they
Miguel brought
corrected
him
that.
back, though, at the end.
Oh, for sure, but the thing is,
Mhm.
it's like, you're over here sitting like, "Oh, you can only do that so many times," but it's like they just do it every season, and
Yeah.
it's entertaining at some points, but then it's like when you have so much other stuff going on and you want to focus on so much other stuff, it really kind of messes up the pacing in a sense because it's like
Hmm.
we have so many other enemies that we've introduced or characters like Quan or like it's just like we know we can dive into all these other dojos, but yet we're kind of focusing on things that we've already dealt with in the past. And
Yeah.
then we have moments such as the whole Devin and Kenny thing. Like especially when the trailer dropped, a lot of people already knew Kenny was gonna be there. And that was the whole thing. Like they knew
I
Kenny
didn't
was
watch
gonna be
that
there.
trailer, so
No, I didn't even watch it either, but I had a lot of
but I
people
heard that
like,
after the
yeah, on
fact.
TikTok, everyone was like, "Oh, why is Kenny there? Why is Kenny there?" And then you end up seeing like, okay,
I
this
saw
is
all the
why.
conspiracy theories saying like
Yeah,
when that Silver brought him in, or
dude.
he was the sixth member on Cobra Kai or something like
When we
that.
were watching the finale of part 1, we fully expected like, we were like, Sam and Kenny are gonna walk out with Cobra Kai, and then we saw Tori walk out, and we're like, maybe they're gonna, save the last person for, the beginning of part 2, and we're gonna see Kenny come out, but, they didn't end up doing that, but I
Mhm.
do really like the relationship between, Kenny and Terry, 'cause, that, of course, ended up being a little bit of a conflict for Miyagi-Do, but to see that like, I don't wanna say Terry genuinely cares about the kid, because I don't think he
Yeah.
does about anybody, but I feel like he kind of had a soft spot in a sense, because he didn't need I know him going out of his way to offer you know, that spot for Kenny
Mhm.
would have been just to kinda mess up Miyagi-Do's kind of whole rhythm and everything,
Yeah.
but, I don't know, that would have been a big move for Kenny. I think that was a big thing, and
Dude,
I
that middle finger
oh
on the
my god, it was so
on the
good.
center stage. I see, okay, this is another thing that kinda bothered me. And again, it's our star bastards this season, Hawk and fucking
Dimitri.
Dimitri.
Oh my god.
When they came in, it was like, "This is some kind of ploy that Kenny is on this plane, that the
It's
only
that
reason
MIT
he's on this
brain.
plane is because Devin and him are pulling these strings to sabotage us from the shadows, because they also would have had to have orchestrated what happened with Carmen to begin with, because that's the only reason that happened, was because Kenny was sent to sub for Miguel. So he was already on the plane. Then Miguel came. Then they're like, Silver. Like, none of it made any sense if you even at all took any time to think about it. Like, it had to have been approved by their senseis. Like,
Mhm.
there's like so many layers that this would have had to go through. Yet that was such like a. And then you like, even when they played, it was like, oh well, even they just had that moment in the middle of that fight when like he did actually do what he was supposed to be doing. They were like, okay. They literally did this. They're like, all right. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I don't know why I thought that.
And
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 like
I
even
think
Miguel and like Robbie were confused. It was like, what are you? What is going on? Like,
nah, yeah, and I love that, man, because it's like the thing is
God damn
Dimitri
it.
is always riding on his whole like the way he thinks and how smart he is, and it's like then sometimes I feel like the stupidest shit comes out of his mouth, and it's just like to hear him coming up with all these theories and then him going up to Sam like, "Oh, I thought I'd go up to the captain that didn't have the soft spot for Kenny."
Yeah.
And then and the fact that Sam was actually like thinking
Which
about it, I
does
was just
sound
like,
like
"Dude,
an old, like earlier show Dimitri thing to do with
it
his like
does."
Karen attitude that he's kind of always had. Like that
Yeah.
does seem like a movie would play, like him Yelp reviewing Crease and shit.
He definitely left a bad Yelp review for
Yeah.
Cobra Kai when, in
Yeah.
season 1 to season 2, bro, that's so
Mhm.
funny. But, no, yeah, that was interesting. I enjoyed that, and one thing that I really did enjoy, and I don't know how if you felt it too, but, like, when Kenny finally does come aboard, we end up seeing the interactions between Kenny and Devin, and I
Mhm.
mean, I thought their, like, little duo dynamic was pretty interesting because they
I
have,
liked it.
yeah, I really did like it. I mean, they seem to be, like they're the youngest ones there, but on top of that,
Mhm.
they both have gone through some stuff in order to get to where they are, you know what I'm saying?
They were
And,
also the 2 stragglers from
for
Terry.
sure. And they both learned so much in a small span, which Amanda mentioned too. She's like,
Yeah.
"You learned this stuff, like, 2 years ago and picked it all up like this," like And I do think Amanda not being a part of the series or the season for a long time, it wasn't like it didn't hurt it or anything, but the little she was involved with, this part, I think absolutely she killed it. I think she did such
Mhm.
a cool job because in my mind, I'm like, "Okay, like, all the characters that didn't make the Sekai Taikai are gonna end up getting benched, and they're not gonna be heavily involved." But they
Right.
implemented characters like Anthony, like Amanda, and even Kenny before the Sekai Taikai in a pretty cool man like, they made it work, and although
Yeah,
there was a
for
lack of
sure.
characters like Carmen and her mother, I still think that it was pretty interesting to see how they handled it. But one of the things that I really liked was when Amanda was forcing Anthony to apologize, and then we get that scene. We're getting a lot of f bombs in this series,
Yeah, I
and
noticed that.
I know some people might complain, but I think it really just highlights the insanity of this show. Like you can't have this level of intensity in a high school show without any type of foul language. Like these kids are
Right.
actually trying to kill each other at points. So it only makes sense. But that scene where they're fighting on the porch and Amanda just yells out like, "Oh, fucking karate," like it
Yeah,
just.
that
Oh
was one
my
of my
god, it was
favorite
so
moments.
funny.
That
It
was,
was
like, the
so.
best line delivery.
It
Fuck,
was.
that's the best not line delivery in the entire season so far.
It was such a mom thing to
Fucking
say too,
karate.
like she's openly said to Daniel how fed up she's been with this whole karate thing. Like, she's like, "I don't know why you're still trying to teach him karate. Kids have literally tried to kill them. They've broken
Yeah.
into our house. They've broken, like, legs and arms. I don't know what we're doing anymore." And, it's just like she is so fed up, and she did a phenomenal job kind of delivering
Oh
that
my
line. I
god.
I
The
loved it.
fine like, her scene, like, I can't even imagine what was racing through her
Oh
head
my god.
when Quan's face hit the bottom of that camera, and it was just like, "Rah!" And
Yes, he was
she's like
thrown.
there's just chaos, and she's all you could do is just watch, you
Yeah, and
know?
they even implemented lines for Bert and his homie in that
Yeah,
sequence
we should have
where they're
snuck
like
in on the plane and somebody's luggage or whatever. We're
they're like,
great at
"We have
brawling.
we have ton of brawl experience. We would have been fine."
The last
And
time they brawled, they got, like, grabbed and scooped up by a guy and
yeah,
carted away.
Bert yeah, that was in season 2, and then the
Yeah.
brawl afterwards, Bert was literally thrown through a window. I don't know if you remember the season 3 finale, but they're like, "Oh, I think your cat wants to come in," and then
Yeah.
once he goes
Yeet.
outside, which I thought that was a terrible piece, like, that scene was
Yeah.
awful because he goes out there, and after he openly says it and goes out there, that's when Sam's like, "Wait, we don't have a cat." It's like, "Why'd you wait for him to go outside
Yeah.
first?" Then you just see his little ass get thrown through the window. And,
Was
yeah, I think
he
such a
there
funny moment.
in the Cobra Kai dojo brawl when they were trying to, like, get the security footage out of
Oh,
Terry's
that
office?
was last season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember too much about that.
I can't remember
I'm
who was there.
It was a whole
I
bunch of
don't
heads.
think they were there,
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if
but
they
they don't
were, but
have
at
a good track record is the
that
point.
that's what I'm saying. Part of me wouldn't be surprised if they're there because Miyagi-Do definitely needed the padding on their team, like, they needed people to be there to
Mhm.
help them out, but at the same time, it's like Cobra Kai was only, like, recruiting, like, these 30-year-old looking high schoolers, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think that you would put up, Bert and his homie against, you know, people that look like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 1, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just personally don't think that would work,
That'd be
but
so funny.
yeah,
Your mic is
again, implementing these characters has been I think they did it, in a really solid way,
mhm.
and, I expected to see Silver. I don't know if I expected to see him in this part, but,
I
his
wasn't
introduction.
100% sure if he was gonna be coming back or not. Like, I was hoping I would imagine he would have, but I wasn't for all I don't know. I mean, I know he could weasel his way out of jail, man, like, that's the one thing. I
Oh,
was
for
like,
sure.
he's not gonna see a jail cell with his money and means and
I
stuff
mean,
like that, but
realistically, I was already happy that we got Mike Barnes in part 1. I
mhm.
thought that was a really cool little touch. I mean, they didn't need to do that, but they did that, and, I thought it was cool, but, yeah, it ended up, oh, wanna talk about this, I guess. Oh my god, Daniel kidnapped in a cage. Can't believe he left the competition to look f for Miyagi's clue. I don't know if this is sarcasm, but, like, there is so much levels to this. I feel like it depends on the situation. Like, realistically, it being the #1 karate tournament in the world, of course, but at the same time, he was having a crisis after finding the blood on the headband and, wanting to find these clues. Do you blame him for leaving? Where do you stand?
In his defense, um, you don't go out planning to get trapped in a cage.
That's fair.
Like, he had everything been normal and not some kind of elaborate, like, plan to get him captured and removed from the arena,
Mhm.
he would have been back already. Like, he was like, "I'll be back before the match." That was the plan. Like, he should have been back. Is it a
Yeah.
little irresponsible as
Oh,
his
for
part as
sure.
the sensei? Sure, but this is also his father in essence, like, his father figure that, like, literally, like, reshaped his entire existence, and now that idea of him has been thrown into a torrential, like, hurricane in his mind about what is or is not true, these things he doesn't know, and yeah, I 100% get why he would, if some answers were handed to him or made available, he would seek them out. What I found, like, convenient as all hell, and this came from the organizer, was that the one guy who might know something just happens to live in Spain, where we had decided to, on a whim, hold this tournament this year. Super convenient, that part. Like, I was
You
like,
know
"Hmm."
you know what I thought was super convenient? So, of course, when, Daniel got kidnapped, we see him going up against these goons, then he runs into someone with a Cobra Kai tattoo. How interesting. Like, after all this time, they're still bringing in characters, and Imma be honest, yeah, I knew the dude was I once they showed the flashback, I knew he was familiar, but it's like, we're bringing in,
I
characters.
recognized him, but it wasn't from Karate Kid. I
No, I
recognized
didn't
him from
recognize
his,
him at all.
I had a problem trying to figure out where I knew him
Oh,
from,
I hate
and it
that.
took me a minute to figure it out. He does instructional videos on YouTube
Does he
for
really?
martial arts and stuff like that, and that's what I remembered him from, because I was looking stuff up, like, for that at one point, and I recognized him from on there. I was like, "Oh, shit, that's what it was."
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
so funny.
remember if it was that or, like, Corridor Crew, and then I typed in his name in the search, and I saw, like, his old videos and stuff. They're, like, 6, 7 years old and stuff at
And
this
then it
point.
turns out he was what, in Karate Kid 3? Is that what it was?
Apparently,
I'm
I
like, "Bro,
didn't.
what are we
Yeah.
doing?" Now they're just I don't know, there were specific characters that we had in mind that we wanted to be involved with this show,
Mhm.
I mean, Kumiko being one of them, Chosen, Mike Barnes, and now that we're almost at completion with all the characters that we requested. I think the last one is, Julie Pierce. I know a lot of people, despite how you felt about that movie, people just wanna see, some type of redemption. It's,
Hey, we at least got acknowledgement of that movie with the, fake name. We don't know which is the fake name now. We don't really know at this point Miyagi's real name. Which
oh,
is it?
I totally
Is it
missed
the
that. I
one he
didn't
told Daniel? Is it the one he told Daniel, or is it the one that's on his passport they found?
Oh, yeah. I don't know, I would assume
Because,
that
his first
Daniel
name's
is his real
different,
name. But the last name's gonna be the same, the right one.
but that name that was on that passport is the
Yeah,
name he gives Julie in the next Karate Kid. When he was there attending that military get together, that's
yeah.
the name.
Oh, I
That's
didn't even think about that.
and that's not the name that Daniel put on his headstone.
What? Oh, this is so interesting,
So,
man.
does Daniel not know his real name now is
That's
the
gonna
question.
destroy him.
Which that is fucked
That is.
information.
He's known him for, 50 years. I'm pretty and I think one of my favorite parts of this show is even though the actor did pass away, they kept him alive in the kind of in the Cobra Kai world where he
Mhm.
was there for Sam growing up, like he was a part of their family. So to be a part of that family and not kind of be truthful, I don't know. It's just I feel like they're constantly pulling in things that just it hurts my head. And although Miyagi being a part of the tournament now isn't too crazy to me,
Mhm.
when they announced it or when they were talking about it at the end of part 1 when they showed the headband and you see blood on it, and then you find out that people have died at this tournament or people have really got messed up. I'm just like, okay, now this is getting ridiculous. Like, what are we doing? But now seeing firsthand how competitive and how crazy these kids get, like the
Mm-hmm.
senseis are beating some of these kids. We have kids that are so angry they're willing to kill another kid. It gets so brutal, and you can kind of see what they were referring to with the blood and the headband and Miyagi.
Mm-hmm.
How it was whatever. What did they say? It was right after the time he lost his
Yeah, it
wife.
was right after because
Yeah,
in the way they said it in part one, and I rewatched it, and it's still the way they worded everything in part one made it so confusing for me because I thought they were implying he was in America before he went back to Okinawa and then got exiled and came back and then fought for the US. But this solidified that all of this happened after the war. Like everything as we knew it was still the same, but then he came after and he lost his, he fought in World War II. He lost his wife, his child, all that happened, and then this happened.
yeah.
And
Why
then
make it easy? Yeah.
he nearly homicided that guy and stole that necklace or whatever it was that he did and then disappeared from the country for a time. So yeah, he was understandably in a dark spot probably.
For sure. But,
And I
I
think
refuse to believe that it was, like, as brutal as they make it sound. I feel like
no,
there's
like
obviously gonna be more to it.
I think whatever happened at the Sekai Taikai when he competed is the reason he became the version of Miyagi that he is today. Like uh it's like General Iroh, man. The
Aw.
dude fought his war.
Mhm.
The dude laid siege to Ba Sing Se forever. He's probably murdered a lot of people. Wisdom, life experiences, and the lessons that you learn come from a point, right? And all of his stuff about not doing tournaments, all of his stuff about defense only, when we learned from Chosen that that's not all Miyagi Do teaches. Like that's all stuff he didn't teach Daniel. That's
Yep.
not everything that Miyagi Do has.
And we saw that when Daniel went to Chosen, and Chosen had, like, a whole scroll and was teaching him
Yeah, I mean we
techniques
saw
that
that with shit, I'm blanking on his name. Chosen's uncle. That whole thing
Oh,
when
yeah,
they
I'm not
learned
gonna
from
remember that.
Miyagi's father. Like we know that there's more to this than he's been taught, and I think a lot of that is because whatever happened there, his fight ended in a death. I am sure that was like a huge wake up moment for him, and then that's why he was like, never again.
And I totally, this is where one of the biggest questions I have kind of comes from, because we know we're getting the movie, but they kind of seemed or, kinda made it clear that Cobra Kai wasn't really related to it,
Hmm.
or at first it sounded like it was in a different, like, set in a different, like, timeline, if you will, like it was kind of like a refresh, but I don't think
Hmm.
that's the case. I don't know, I hope it's not the case, but I don't know exactly what they're doing, but it's like, it would just be so
I
cool to
think as
see,
far as it's going to be, is just it's not going to directly reference anything
which I think is
from
stupid.
from before.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe Mr. Han learns of Daniel because like in the synopsis we have for the movie, he reaches out to Daniel for help. So like maybe he sees him
Miyagi-Do, at the end of
on
the
the
Sekai
Sekai
Taikai. Oh
Taikai.
my god, please.
That's all I need.
Dude,
I
literally
just
all
I
I
just
would
need to
care about.
know that it's not another universe
Dude,
because that would
exactly.
be stupid.
All I would care about is just like a 3-second scene of someone holding up both Johnny and Daniel's hand with maybe Miguel or Robbie in the background, like they don't need to have roles. Just to
I'd
have
just
a,
be happy to with a just a mention.
yeah, just to mention. Yeah, just
I just need
I
to
need
know
the
they're
clarification.
not being Sony
Okay,
and fucking this
dude.
up.
Oh my
And
god. See, and that was one of my biggest fears. And isn't this Sony?
yeah, that's why I'm like worried about it because we know all this fucking there's no Spider-Man in this universe.
Yo, oh my
Oh
god,
my god.
dude.
Anyway,
But I have a lot of questions for that. I'm excited for it. I just need it to be done right. And it's like, if they're doing this for a cash grab, like, be smart. You can really get a lot of cash if you do it this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you
Yeah.
separate it, it's just not gonna work out. Like, realistically, it's not gonna work out. And I'm hoping that I'm hoping things work out. Where that's really where I stand. But yeah, back to the I guess the main show. Um, yeah, we ended up diving into a whole bunch of different fights. And one thing that I saw after the end of part one, for some reason, I think they released like a behind the scenes like video, and I ended up watching it, and like I really thought what they were going to be doing for the Sekai Taikai, I thought they were going to be doing some kind of like episodes or whatever where they're primarily doing like skill matches, like not actual fights, but like who can like break the most stones, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And the idea of that really kind of turned me off. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy a whole episode where they're just testing their skills." But
Right.
we open up the episode with just nonstop, just a montage of them getting their ass kicked, which was still entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
And I really liked the amount of kind of actual competition that we got in this part. Did you expect this much, like, kind of, like, action or this much competition off the rip, or did you expect it to be kind of, like, watered down a little bit so we could kind of
Well, I
dive
was
into a lot of story?
well, there was a lot of, like what I really liked about it, what I didn't expect either, what because like, I didn't know what the structuring was gonna be. Because like you, I kinda thought, like, when they were doing their audition, which was, like there was, like, different, like, segments that they were
Mhm,
judging them on or whatever, I was just like yeah, I was like, "Is this gonna be broken up like the last tournament we saw where
mhm.
there's, like, kata, weapons, and then fighting, or what?" And it was just all fighting.
Yeah,
And team fights at that. It wasn't just 1v1s and stuff like that,
and I love how they switched it up
except towards
too.
the end when they were pitting the captains against each other and
Yeah,
stuff, but,
which I thought was fine. I'm
like the
totally cool with
tag
it.
in and out, the balance beam
Yeah,
thing, like
the cage, what was it? Like, the lifted beam or whatever you wanna call
mhm.
it, I thought that was probably one of my favorite
You gotta
fights.
keep 2 people in at all times or
Mhm.
whatever until you run out of players.
And even the beam, fight, I thought that was fantastic because it really gave the kids a chance, or specifically Sam a chance to kind of, step up and say to Johnny, like, "I know you're stuck in your own way, like, I know you want to do things this way, but
Mhm.
realistically, Miyagi-Do was definitely the best strategy to use in that circumstance."
Yeah,
And Johnny is
exactly.
so kind of like has such a big head. It's so hard to admit that, but then he finally did later on, which was really cool to see him kind of
Mhm.
admitting his faults. Again, Johnny has improved as a character so much, but to see him go out of his way and actually call Daniel was an interesting move.
Oh, yeah,
And
that
Sam,
that warmed my heart, man.
yeah, it did. And even Sam was like, well, we should have done things this way. If my dad was here, we never would have lost. And he's like, well, your dad's not here. And she says, that's probably your fault. You know, and it's just like to see the
Yeah,
kids actually standing on business where Johnny was like, oh, I'm not finished talking here. And Miguel goes up to him. He's like, no
yeah,
offense, but I think we've had enough of your talking or enough of your pep talks. And just like, dang, bro, like these
yeah.
kids are not here to play. Like they are frustrated and they are
'Cause it
rightfully
also,
so.
like, Miguel, like, I feel like has a little bit more of a right there to even, like, bring that up to, because to me, like, it gave me flashes of season 4, like, when Johnny was more concerned about winning and beating Cobra Kai, that he was ignoring Miguel's physical health at this moment.
Mhm.
Like, Miguel did not give 2 shits about that fight, but he was like, "No," he was, like, really coming down hard on him. Then Miguel didn't return to the mat and fucking left the country. You know, it's just
Dude, I
like,
forgot about that.
when Johnny tunnel visions, like, he forgets about the people around him, and
Yeah, when he shuts down, he shuts
it's
down.
that creaseness that kinda
Yes.
it's like the darkness, the
Oh,
creases
I love
oozing
that.
out of him a
And
little
it's
bit.
like it's so hard not to think of, like, Star Wars references when you
Mhm,
think of this show. Like, I was going over a bunch of scenes with my brother, and I'm showing him, I think it was the season 3 ending where Johnny confronts, Kreese, and
mhm.
Robbie officially joined Cobra Kai, and
Yeah,
then Robbie fights Johnny, and I'm just like, "Bro, like, this is such an Anakin moment," and it's so cool. But to see, of course, Robbie kind of channeling his whole Kreese like, in that situation, but then we have moments where Johnny, of course, is channeling Kreese throughout the entire series, and
mhm.
then we have moments where It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like we end the episode with Johnny and Kreese against Terry, which was such an interesting move because it's like
Yeah.
they have been at each other's necks nonstop, and they're not even over it. Even in the beginning of this part, they were legit dick measuring with their weapons and stuff, with the nunchucks and
Yeah.
then how
Well,
Kreese
I
is like,
mean,
I always
like
keep this close, you know?
episode 9 when Cobra Kai gets disqualified for 10 minutes. Then, he's like,
They got kicked out, right?
yeah,
They
and
lost
when
the
they
fight.
lost, and then he was just like, see you never,
Oh my god, dude,
when
that
he
was
just went over
ridiculous.
and like rubbed it in his face. He was like, goodbye. And then Kreese was still like, I'm not done.
Dude, I thought that
Had
was
they
one of the
not
most
gotten that
ridiculous things.
technicality and got back in, like, what was Kreese's plan? Was he just going to, like, he ended that episode being like, it's not over. Is he going to, like, just mug him? Like,
And I
twice
wouldn't be
he's been
surprised.
stopped from killing Terry off on
Yeah.
the sidelines.
Dude, that was
He
probably one of
was,
the
like, on a
craziest moments that we
mission.
got. Like, he was creeping around the corner, prepared to not only just kill Terry, but to do it in front of Sensei Wolf.
Yeah.
Like, it just
I
shows
mean,
the
like, listen,
pure
he would have got his
insanity.
ass beat if he tried that.
Oh my god,
Those
yes.
3 at the same time, Kreese can't do that.
Dude, the
Like,
thing is, Sensei Wolf at this point is on another level from any of the characters that we've seen so far.
yeah.
Because Johnny wasn't even able to keep up with him. Him and Daniel had to take him down. And him and
Yeah.
Daniel were able to take on Kreese on their own. Like each of
Mhm.
them were able to hold their own against Kreese. Sensei Wolf is a whole different breed, and I
He's a
really hope
freak.
they don't. Yeah, I hope they don't roll over that. Like I really hope we have to bring in some secret weapon
Like,
in
that fight
order to
only
defeat
stopped because, like, a bunch of people got between them and, like, he got lost in the sea of
and
people.
then a child died. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
literally the only reason. But he would have folded. I don't know. I think he would have been able to fold them. Like
Mhm.
he wasn't even like
Dude,
his
I loved
confidence
it.
didn't
Like,
even
dude,
go
like,
down.
when he just bopped Johnny mid-sentence and Johnny was so, like, taken aback by that. It's just like when you're so used to like these shows and stuff, you get your hero and your villain monologues, and he just gets bopped right in the middle of his. And I
Dude,
was like, he's not playing their game,
and I
even if he is
absolutely
a
love
pawn
that.
in their game.
And I love that. I mean, the introduction to his character, of course, I thought was really cool. I still think that that moment at the end of episode 1 with and I don't want to say just for the Iron Dragons, but for a majority of the teams, they all have their own iconic little theme, like
Mhm.
to kind of like show where they're from, such as what's it, Dublin. We have like the music playing in the background, and
There's a lot of
uh,
like a Celtic
yeah,
inspiration
exactly,
to the
exactly, and
rock
then
jam going on. Some
and I love that.
Dropkick Murphys.
I truly love them specifically because it's like they didn't care about their language at all, you know? They're
No.
like I don't know, just like the way they were just cussing left and right, it just
But
felt
also
authentic.
they were just like, I don't even understand why they were so fixated on Sam. Like they built like some like behind the scenes rivalry because she was so fixated on getting at Sam. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
why?
what was it that she said? She was like, "You don't belong here, bitch." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Bro,
like whatever.
relax."
Like she like left her fight to go after Sam. I was like, why?
And it's, one of my
But
favorite things.
the dudes in orange though that had some really badass
Yeah, I
moments
I
went to
wasn't
back
sure
up
if that was
Dimitri and
Brazil.
Hawk.
I wasn't sure who they were,
I can't remember either. I don't
but
know if it
they
was
were awesome. I
Argentina or
love them.
Brazil, but, like, when
And
they
one of
showed
the
up, hair
yeah.
respects hair. The
Yeah,
guy with the
exactly.
red
The
dreads.
comparison between him and Hawk, I thought it was cool
Yeah.
because they were in the same frame, and I'm
Mhm.
expecting, like, maybe he wanted Hawk for himself or something else, but then they just kinda, like, looked at each other like, "Hey,
I
like,
like
we
that
good."
because it showed that not all of the dojos
Yeah,
were like this.
and
That
I love that a lot, but one of the things is I believe that the female on the, I believe the orange team was the woman that danced with Dimitri at the,
was it?
I believe so. So the thing is, they look
Hmm.
so different when they're in, like,
Yeah.
in their karate attire. Because the thing is, I knew we were gonna be getting Zara because of the trailer and everything, and,
Mhm.
the sneak peek, for an example, but seeing Zara in the normal, like, kind of, like, clothes and all that, like, I didn't know it was her. Like, when they were taking the captain's photo and she was, like,
Yeah.
looking at Robbie like, Some cute guys here." I didn't realize that that was the same person due to how different you know, they kind of
Mhm.
like they look, you know, do it's like really the Clark Kent effect, you know? It's
Yeah, for
one different
sure.
hairstyle really just does the trick, and it's like
Dude,
I was
she
looking
was a
back at it.
beast.
She was, and she's a pro in real life. She's
Yeah,
like
13
13
time
times.
world
Yeah,
champion.
dude, I was looking at some clips of her, like, I
'Cause
think
you
she's
can just
training or
tell.
fighting, and she
So
was yeah, and it really makes some of these shots so much more entertaining to watch because 'cause they're not going out of their way to kind
mhm.
of film the back of someone's head because they need a stunt double to kind
Right.
of get in the
And I
scene.
think they filled out a lot of the other teams just with actual martial artists, cause like,
I love that.
the Dread guy and then the not Miguel that was with him, like, the guy that's like a bulkier Miguel,
Oh, you're talking
um,
about the one
he
on the
was
Iron
also
Dragons?
no, he was one of the guys with the Dread dude, with the
Oh,
Argentinian
okay, okay,
Brazil
okay,
guy.
okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like, he also had, like, the same kinda hairstyle as Miguel, but, like, I even, like, fucked up in the scene. I didn't wasn't even paying attention. I just saw the hair flipping around and somebody getting kicked in the face. I was like, "Yeah, go Miguel." I was like,
There
"It
was so
wasn't
much
him."
happening. It
It
was
wasn't
so
I
much.
didn't even know what was going on, man. But anyway, like, those 2, like, you there's certain people, like, when you go in and you see them do the move, you can tell that they've been doing this their whole life and they didn't just learn it over a couple of
Mhm.
weeks, you know? And,
Yeah.
like, there's so many of those people on these different teams, like, those 2 from that team and 100% Zara and every one of just her body language shows you that she fucking knows how to do this stuff. Some of the
Mhm.
stuff she was doing in her fight scenes was, like it was just crazy.
Even
Like,
when it
the
came to
amount of
handling the weapons too, like,
mhm.
she's done it before.
I don't know about fucking, Kurgan or Drago, Axel, whatever the hell his name is,
Yeah.
Frankenstein, like,
Dude, he
he's
was a
like
freaking tank.
well, he's also, like, 8 feet taller than everybody, and he's got more reach than any of them have, like, his arms are like 2 of them half the time. Like, I was like, "This guy is designed to mow you over."
There were
And
some
that's the
people
thing
kind of
too, like, he's, like, kind of abused into being like this,
yeah.
which is this twisted thing of it, and I think that's part of the reason too he's so confused about how he's supposed to navigate real social interactions.
Sure. And I think they really did a good job with that because not only did they highlight the fact that he's clearly getting abused with the Sensei Wolf and all that, but like the emotional damage it's probably causing is probably a big contributing factor to how he is and how and why he's reacting a specific way to Miguel.
Who
Because
did nothing.
exactly, like, and I thought that was so funny because
Yeah.
staring him down, and he's just like even Miguel is just like, okay, like what are we doing? Like, like why is this dude looking at me? And Sam at first is trying to brush it off. Oh, don't think too much about it. And it's like this dude has had his heart broken. And Sam genuinely didn't try to do that. Like it wasn't a
Mhm.
situation where she let him on or anything. Like, she was trying to be nice because she saw this dude getting his ass beat, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. And I thought it made Axel a little more interesting as a character, and we
Mhm.
see how it affected him later on with the whole
But I
Quan.
like that despite all of that, he's so, like, smitten that he left his fight with Miguel to go defend Sam from Quan.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
and
"Ha, no, my princess."
and that was the thing, like, he didn't even, like, he literally paused the fight himself, like,
Mhm.
Miguel really didn't look like he was standing a chance, like,
Dude,
and
he, like,
it was
was
kinda
like
scary.
he he might as well have just picked Miguel up and
Yeah,
just sat him over
he
there in
flicked them
timeout.
off of him, like, he straight up flicked them off of him, it was fantastic. The Frankenstein guy reminded me of Drago's son from Creed 2. Okay,
Oh,
uh,
yeah, for sure.
nah, yeah,
It's
and
kinda
it's
like the
just
same
I
thing.
I
It's a
think it was
little
the
bit of
lack of
both.
words. The lack of words, I think, definitely,
Yeah.
does that.
Well, it goes into, like, the mentality, I think, of the Iron Dragons because 'cause they're so, like, efficient, and it's just like
So
he's
disciplined,
beating
yeah,
out any mistakes in his form and all this
dude.
kinda stuff, and, like, in Rocky 2, sorry, fucking 3. 4? 4, shit. It's been a minute. The one with Drago, he's, like, just in these machines. Like, they're like, "This is science breaking away the man," to where he's just as efficient of a fighter as he possibly can be, and it's like he's just beating the humanity out of him. Like, he's turning him into just a weapon effectively.
Yeah.
So like when he's in these situations, he doesn't know how to interact with anybody. So like it's just like I don't know. There's I mean, it's not the only Rocky parallel in this entire franchise for that matter, but still, that's
No,
the
yeah.
first thing immediately where I went to. And also just physically, there's some similarities they're evoking with that too.
Miguel was in his prime at the Sekai Taikai. We've had some really cool Miguel moments. I don't know if there was anything that stood out to you in this season specifically, or this part, excuse me, but I
You
think
talking
one
like in
thing
his fighting or
yeah,
just
like
in
just yeah,
general?
just in general, whatever. I mean, I think one thing that I really enjoyed was that 2v1 scene. Like
Mhm.
obviously he's had his beef with Robbie and his, they've kind of talked a little bit, and he finally snapped, and at the end him saying straight up to him like, "Hey, like let me show you how to properly do this, like let me show you how it's done." To see him kind of like stand on business like that, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that whole fight there when it just came just to him versus those last 2, and he just completely gives them the sauce, was so rewarding. Even if I did think he's just I understand, like, like, why he feels like he does. It still irks me because I know he is kinda being a little bit of a dick this season for until he hits the plane, when he gets to just
That little
sit,
reality check, yeah, and think about things.
think about things. He's worried about his mom. Like he's lashed out at Johnny on the plane and in that moment you mentioned
Mhm,
earlier when he was like, "We're tired of hearing about your bullshit." You know, he's been very off balance as many of the team has been at the first part of this. Ever since they started this tournament, the team has just been just fucking flopping in the wind. You know, like they
yeah,
haven't been a team until pretty much until Miguel went back, was able to collect his thoughts. He got that little pep up from his mom. She's like, "Hey, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Just go win." And after that, Miguel's just been activated. And then he comes back and he's the one like putting everything together. He gives Robbie the talk that gets Robbie's head out of his ass.
mhm,
Everybody else starts to slowly fall in around that, and when Johnny and Daniel are the ones falling apart, it's Miguel that gives them that pep talk on the beach, and then
mhm.
they're back in line, and it's like Miguel's like the fucking glue.
He's the glue for sure. Um, so we also have someone else joining us, someone who's old enough to be a part of the Sekai Taikai. Uh,
Yo,
Yo,
what's good?
what's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
it's
You were
Bert.
I'm turning
you
my
were
stuff on. Hey, come on now, bro.
nah, Bert got a little more on Draven. Can't just sit here.
Damn, bro.
Um, you were really excited to watch this show, man,
Oh,
and
dude, come on
you
now.
dished out content like a
Sheesh.
mofo, bro. Like it
Yeah,
was it
bro.
was crazy
I was
to see
locked
you
in, bro.
pumping out 30 videos in one day, bro. Like I really hope you
Yeah, I
saw the
try
sun
not to
that
just
day.
upload all of it, but it's just too good. I just got to get it out there. Just it was good. I
So
really enjoyed it. It was a great time.
we went over a lot already. One thing that we were talking about specifically in this moment was Miguel, and someone said Miguel was in his prime in the Sekai
Oh
Taikai.
my god, bro.
But one thing that we were kind of talking about was there anything that kind of stood out to you, whether it was action or just character development
Oh,
wise
dude,
with
I
Miguel?
I thought the fighting was like the best, dude. I mean, it was a huge upgrade from part 1, I
Mhm.
feel like, with like action wise and stuff. Yeah, just Miguel, bro. The 2-on-1 when he's versus the Dublin Thunder or whatever. Oh my goodness, gravy. That that was good, bro. That was
It
good.
was. It
It felt
was.
like it felt like OG Miguel finally back.
Yeah, and the one thing that I really like, it really makes it feel authentic, as stupid as it sounds. It's like, I don't know if any of you grew up playing sports, but after you do something kind of nice, you let out that roar, And after
Mhm.
seeing
He's him,
Miguel,
bro.
yeah, after Miguel took that
Yeah.
2v1, we had the and I'm just like, yeah, that's my boy, let it out, And it's
Yeah,
like
bro.
Mhm.
he has
That was
been
sick.
on a mission to prove so much. I mean, the fact is he lost that fight to Robbie. but he feels as though he deserves that spot. So he's on a mission to prove that he deserves that spot, even though it's already given to someone else. So to see him in that position
I still
where
think he lost that fight against Robbie because his eyes weren't on the right prize.
okay, that's fair.
That's been my thing, because like I feel like he was so in his head in that fight when he's just because he was he was freaking out about college. He was freaking about the pressure of this tournament. He was thinking about a lot of what
he was thinking about the wrong things.
I felt like, yeah, he was like, and he was on top of that too. Like, he's just like, I need this for my dream that I still can. Like, he's going to college no matter what happens.
Mhm.
Like, no matter what. And we had a whole episode about him be like, okay, worst case scenario for me is I just go to school at a school that's not an Ivy League
Super
school.
expensive, yeah.
You know, like, and you know, he could always try that again. The alternative is that, like, you know, for any of the other ones get out there, like Robbie, who's got a horrible record.
Yeah.
His school is next to non-existent. He's got a criminal record. You know, this is like his chance to be anything.
And I
Not
think
to
Johnny,
be fair, that is an over exaggeration.
in
But
a
like,
sense, yeah, but
but
what the Sekai
he's not
Taikai offers,
like, he's not set up anywhere close to Miguel for after high school. So it really feels like Miguel, like for me, he was just like downplaying Robbie's whole situation as if you shouldn't even try.
well,
And I was just like, I just felt like Miguel was out of pocket for a lot of it.
no, for sure, and I totally get that. At the end of the day,
that's why, like, when he went down there and he got that reality check, and he came back, and I thought he was just I think that Miguel could have probably rocked Robbie. Like, if he was like zeroed in, focused, like laser vision Miguel, I think he could beat Robbie.
Even Miguel when he's in his prime, not thinking about Tori. You think he got that in the bag?
Yeah, I think 1-to-1.
Oh,
I think
I mean,
Robbie just got through because
before.
he used the dark side for a little bit.
Like when they fought on the balcony, they like that was both of them in their.
Robbie's lost every fight against him up until this point.
Realistically, I think Miguel's a better fighter. I mean, say what you want about that, but
I think Robbie's a better mentor and a better leader. Okay. And I think
he's matured so much after everything he's been through. I think you get that.
Miguel he's the guy you want to direct, you know, like he's your force.
He's the GOAT.
I can get where Miguel is coming from, because it's like the thing is his mindset is like he needs to go to one of those big schools at one point. You know, that's kind of where he thinks. But like realistically, everyone around him, they don't care about that. They would be so proud of him if he just went to a school. To be able to graduate is something that a majority of his family probably hasn't done. Like I don't think Carmen did. Johnny definitely didn't.
Yeah.
So I think that's something he needed to consider. But also I feel like in Miguel's mind is he is being told he needs to sympathize and understand Robbie's situation. But a lot of the stuff that Robbie did, obviously Robbie grew up in a terrible environment, but a lot of the stuff that he was involved in was stuff that he put himself in. Like pushing a child off of a balcony, you know, in pure violence was his decision. Going to juvie, all that stuff, the stealing, the being involved with other criminals. There was a lot of stuff that I can understand why Miguel kind of felt the way he felt. But realistically, Miguel is definitely in a better position than Robbie was. And I think Johnny saying all that to him was a big, like, kind of push for Miguel to realize, you know, what.
Because he probably wasn't really even thinking about it, you know? Because of how much Robbie's kind of changed and how close they've got. Like, it's hard to, like, when you're like right there to like think about somebody that close that you're that close to, that you've seen the change, you acknowledge the change, but like you don't think about what some person who doesn't know them at all is going to look
when
at
you're
that
with them
history and see
every
something
day.
else.
Exactly.
Like, because a lot of people, you don't ever escape the mistakes you make sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Which sucks. I mean, that's just the reality of it, you know? So, like, I don't know.
And what else? I feel like there's some other stuff that we got to talk about. One thing I do want to talk about, Chosen and what's her name?
Kim. Her name is Kim.
Kim Dayon.
Yeah, how'd you guys feel about that?
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Dude,
I'm sorry,
he's
but
a different person with that hair down, man.
yeah, dude, I
Whew.
never looked at her. Like I always thought she was super intimidating. I'm like, whatever. But then as soon as her and like they started being a little flirty, I'm like, what's going on? And then
He was like,
after,
"Are
like,
you gonna fight or are you gonna
yeah,
bang?" And then it was
yeah.
just yes.
And then the next scene with her hair down and the sand in there, I'm just like, I wish I could put my hand through the screen and just dab
They
with my
did
boy
they did
Chosen. You
it
know what I'm saying?
twice that night.
Yeah, and even throughout the next few episodes, to see it kind of being brought up,
Mhm.
um,
Oh
such
god,
as
she was so down bad too
yeah,
when
she's like,
Daniel was
"Oh
like,
yeah, I
"What was
don't want
that
you to make
little?"
another mistake." I'm like,
Yeah, and then she
"Dang."
just she made that her whole personality for a little bit.
I'm like, "You're in the
It was like
doghouse, bro."
that was why she had that little talk with Tori too. Like she's been like so like get rid of emotions, stop it, like none of that. And then now, like after that, she's like, don't let them use it, harness it, make it your power. She was
Yeah,
like telling her to use the dark side in that fight because she got her heart broken from a boy.
and
I love it.
the way
It's
she
so
was talking to
stupid. I
Tori.
love it.
Oh, for sure. The way she was talking to Tori, I thought that was probably some of the best dialogue that we've gotten between the two. The way
Yeah.
Tori was being so genuine, like she wasn't trying to like start an issue or like
Hmm.
trying to like poke the bear, but she was like, was it worth it? Dropping out all of
Yeah.
your social life to focus on karate. Like, what does this actually do for you? Is it actually worth it? I thought that was one of the most realist moments that we've gotten with Tori.
Yeah.
And although we've gotten a lot of character development with her, for her to hear that from someone that isn't a super optimistic person, like or people like Miyagi Do, like Miyagi Do,
Yeah.
all these people are like, "Hey, look, a butterfly, let's go chase it," you know? So to hear from people like him, who she's not like this isn't how
Yeah.
she is. Like she got a genuine answer from her, you know, and I
Hmm.
thought it was really cool to see more of
I
that.
think
And then
that's an
I
even
support
more pointed question because she can't, for Kim specifically, she can't like, it's got to be worth it, right? She's put so much into this. But the whole truth of the matter is, she's done all of this. And what did her grandfather say? He refuses to die because she's not worthy of having it passed
who is
on to
that
her.
bastard? I think we talked about this last time.
I
He must
don't
be like
know.
150.
2,000 years old, and he still couldn't go walk down the street to get his knife back.
Dude,
He
in
left that knife there? You're telling me he left that
for
knife there for, like,
decades.
50 years
Nah, he
just
set my
for
boy up.
Kreese to go get it. He
And
went there that morning, put that knife in that cave, probably bought that Cobra this morning too, and just threw it out there and be like, "Haha, I'm gonna fuck with this dude."
I truly believe that, what
Then
is it?
Kreese
That
made that his entire personality was having this dagger, this part.
dude is a weirdo, bro. Like we gotta, like, he needs to go to a home after this. Like that's how the season needs to end. But realistically, I've been backing up Quan because at the end of the day, for me, he was still kind of a kid, you know. But the
Mhm.
thing is, it's like this kid is basically like Damian Wayne in a sense. Like he was raised. This place looks like the League of Us, like the League of Shadows, like the League of
Yes.
Assassins. Like he is like, they even slept there. Like, this is not like a normal spot. Like, are raised,
Mhm.
they eat, sleep, and breathe violence. So,
Yep.
you can kind of understand where they're coming from in a sense, but it's like, when you think about it like that, like, anytime they showed Quan or whatever, when he was at that little sanctuary, if you will, it looked like the League, bro. Like, they're bred to show no mercy. Like, they're taught basically to kill. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
normal, like a normal place. So,
I do wish we would have gotten more
Quan,
Quan, a little more focus on him, maybe even just something that just wasn't him just, like, skulking in the shadows, stalking all these other kids. Because he made it his mission when Kreese was like, "The battle doesn't end on the mat," and he just was playing these mind games with everybody, like, he found Robbie to mess with Robbie. He found Tori so that he could put on that show to mess with Robbie. He found Sam when she was off in God knows where with Axel to interfere with that. Like he was like literally somehow everywhere fucking with all the kids,
and,
like playing these
we got
mind
one more
games.
we got another person joining us. Of course, another homie. His camera just shut off, so I don't know if we're actually, I guess we're gonna wait, continue talking.
So like I would have liked like I would have liked more time like empathizing with him and why he's on this side. Like he
Mhm.
he connected Kreese connected to him in this way that he sees something like a little bit of himself there, but like we don't really, beyond him being the bad boy of even the bad boys, we didn't get enough time to know Quan,
Yeah.
which sucks.
And
because I think that would have made the ending of this part hit even harder.
How'd you feel about Quan Draven?
Oh, I fucking love Quan, bro. Dude is like, I mean, towards the end there, he's kind of crazy, but like, bro was like ready to go kill Axel,
Mhm.
and then, yeah, I think he was a pretty cool character. Obviously, we only got him for like 10 episodes, so we didn't really get to know him very well.
Mhm.
I wish we'd gotten a little bit more, maybe a little more like backstory how he ended up there and whatever. But
And the thing is, it kind of makes me question things because we are coming down to the last 5 episodes of the series, and it's like some people are like, "How are we gonna wrap all of this up in five episodes?" And then it's like getting rid of Quan.
well, you can't do the tournament
character.
anymore. There's no way, because otherwise it's
Exactly.
just. I mean, this show is still like it's wild because like they commit so many felonies and like it's just and they just keep rolling whatever
What's
and everyone
up,
gets out of
man?
prison like so. Sorry. All right, go.
No, you're good, bro. No, I
you're good.
interrupted
No, I interrupted y'all with my
That's what
punctuality.
you were saying, my boy Draven.
No, I just like I don't know, like Silver getting out of prison, Kreese, breaking out of jail, blah blah blah. Just like getting on a plane to Barcelona. Like I don't know. Sometimes the show is a little over the board,
Oh, for
but
sure.
like I love it. It's just like
And it always comes back to the fact that this was a karate tournament. Like this all started with a girl that's not even in the show, like a girl that's not even involved in either of their lives anymore. And it's just a kind of a big testament of the people, I guess, you kind of leave behind, if you will, because it's really
And
funny to see how far they've kind of.
I wish they would have got a reveal of who's the girl in the Karate Kid, the girl. I wish we got something of her, but I don't.
There's 5 episodes left, and it turns out Omni mentioned something that they kind of like admitted that those movies are kind of involved with. Like, what was it that you said again?
The name that was on the passport Daniel found in that box is the name Miyagi uses when he goes to his old military meetup when they're all going to that. I don't remember what it was. It was like it was some kind of memorial or ceremony for their squadron or whatever. The name that he uses in that movie that he's acknowledged for is that name, which is not his name that Daniel put on his headstone.
And we're trying to figure out which name is the right name.
Because it is so we don't know which one technically is the real name anymore. Because the one on his tombstone on his headstone is Noriyoshi, but in Next Karate Kid and the quote unquote fake passport, it's Kisuke Miyagi.
Oof.
So I would assume, unless he went into the military under a fake name, does Daniel even know his real name?
So we're getting some
I don't know.
deep Miyagi lore.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what they've been doing. Like,
I also like
nonsense at us.
The de-aging. I thought that was pretty good too.
That was
perfect.
Omni has something to say, but I want to hear Ant's specific thoughts on that.
Oh no, I just loved it. I mean, it's CGI, but like I loved how they transitioned. I knew we were going to get a young Miyagi, so just to see him from that angle, like the fact that he took the time to do that at the end of the show, I loved it. I don't know whether he was dodging child support or what, but I'm curious about this mystery at the end of the show.
I thought it was really cool that we got to see like an actor portray the young Miyagi and do such a great job, whether it was the voice or just the way he kind of presented himself. It felt so real. It was so good. And then all of a sudden they pull out the CG stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, like this is really what we're doing. Because like Omni mentioned earlier, like they did this in one of the other seasons with Kreese and Johnny, where Kreese is like fighting, and then we see a younger version of Johnny, and it like was pure CG. I mean, and as he mentioned, due to the lighting, it was a little more tolerable. Here, it's really noticeable, but at the same time, I'm just like, this is still a really interesting touch, and I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's forgivable that you can notice, and the way they did it, and the way the voice acting or how they did the voice,
Mhm.
it really conveyed it, and you feel for Daniel. You feel this relationship that he's trying to live up to, and what I like about this show, as hokey as it can be sometimes, it's also very 80s with kids drinking and going off to like around the world and all these things. And y'all probably already touched on it. Even the death of the character, which we really hadn't seen with all
Mhm.
these way violent scenes and and mass brawls. To see a character who really was just introduced and has like done a really good job just to be taken out has been fantastic for the show. So I love all that, even the cheesy special effects, everything, some of the drama. That's all 80s, and I'm here for it. So,
And we've had some shots that really like feel 80s. Like in part 1, I know there was a shot with the plane and the music, and it was like I felt like I was watching like an 80s movie. But some of the scenes, it's just like I don't know. I have a lot of fun with this, even if it does get really ridiculous at
They
times.
like to fight a lot,
yeah.
bro. Like everyone likes to argue, and I'm like, oh my god, here we go
How do
again.
you feel about
Daniel
that?
and
'Cause we were
Johnny
mentioning
always arguing.
exactly. Me and Omni were talking earlier about how like sometimes we feel as though they implement arguments that don't need to be there.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
And
They aren't
how do
really
you guys feel like?
organic.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Daniel and Johnny having their like 37th argument in this show?
It lasted like 20 minutes. It's not a big deal, so I can move past it.
All right.
I needed to transition to the
As long as they don't argue anymore, I'm good. Like,
I need
come
to
on now.
transition you to the Goku Vegeta type of level relationship where they say sly things to each other, or one
Yeah.
calls one an idiot, but then they still, because it's back and forth about whose way is better, and we already dealt with that. We should be on a different page
Like-
of our relationship.
And like
After
with
the-
Goku and Vegeta, this Vegeta is the better dad.
Oh,
It's true.
Even
yeah,
after they won, like he says something about like at least I beat like Kreese once or something like that. I'm like, bro, come on now.
That's some good smack talk. I love that.
that was great.
That was great.
He's like, technically, I beat him my first tournament.
Yeah. He was like, we finally beat him.
I was so glad that Kenny got to go.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, this is such a roundabout way to get Kenny there, like the whole plane trip. But I was like, it works. Also, I guess you feel sorry for Laxton, but I'm going after the person that posted that video. Who on the
That
team
was so
posted that
extra.
video?
Yeah. I
Well,
love
I
how
didn't even
this is
think
what
about that. That would have had to have been somebody there.
it's like the producers really think of like the YouTubers making or taking their time of making an edit of that craziness. Like, I'm sorry, but if I saw a video of someone crapping themselves, I'm not gonna take the time and edit something that diabolical.
It's somebody
The
this is
fucking
in
porta
school.
potty taking off, like that killed me, man.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That was
And this is in
insane, dude.
school. This is like people you know. This is your team doing
Yeah.
this.
They
So
did it
forget
to
who-
his face, bro.
So I was wondering a little bit about like how they're gonna like end it. I wonder if they'll bring like everyone back for like a whole like reunion, like Aisha and like
Oh,
those
fight.
characters.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
forgot.
no fight.
There's gonna be a fight at Quan's funeral.
Oh, don't do that.
I can see it, bro. I can see it.
But it's next
Oh,
level
man.
now. Now we get
Yeah.
weapons and people
Now we
can
get
die
guns.
and-
Oh my god. Dude, I know maybe
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself, but what are the chances we see Mr. Han in part 3?
In part 3, no.
No?
I'm gonna count that right the hell out of here.
Even a little post-credit scene of just someone writing a note to Mr.
It would be
Boruto?
something Sony forced into this show last minute, like Ezra Miller in Crisis.
Ezra Miller and Greg.
Like this isn't gonna. If something happens with Mr. Han, I guarantee it would not have been originally planned.
No, it's
Okay.
okay. Tacked on.
How do you guys
These
have
are-
the Julie Pierce making an appearance?
I
Is your-
need
I
it.
don't think so. I
I
don't.
don't
I
think- I'll be
I don't
open
think
to
there's
it.
gonna
just
happen,
not.
but
There's
I
not a
need it.
lot of time. Like
But it's like Hilary Swank has openly mentioned it in interviews, and I feel like if it wasn't going to happen, she would try to avoid it. At
yeah,
all.
but like
No?
she got shit on for that movie that she did. Like
I know, but
so that's why like
mean,
why would you come
Jennifer
back?
Gardner got shit on for Elektra. I
Sure.
understand this isn't Cobra Kai isn't Marvel money.
It's Deadpool though, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
But
like,
give
Hey,
Cobra Kai
Hilary Swank can
the
still throw hands, man. She put up a damn fight in The Hunt.
yeah, and oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I heard that was
brutal.
good.
Also,
I heard it was crazy.
It's what was popular at the time, but as a kid, you just got another Karate
Yeah.
Kid movie, right?
When I
You
saw it,
weren't.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. So
Back
I mean,
when
I
that
thought it was
came
better
out-
than the 3, huh?
Back when that came out, I thought there was just the first one and the next Karate Kid. I didn't know there was a part
That's
2
the thing.
and part 3 until
Karate
Cobra
Kid
Kai.
2 is a fun movie, but Karate Kid 3, as much as I love it, is not like a fantastic film. But
It
it
was
has
not
a
an
cult
organic
following.
transition.
I love it. I thought it was fun because I saw it when I was a kid.
So is Jaden
So-
Smith gonna show up?
If Mr. Han's not showing up,
Yeah.
Jaden Smith
But-
just comes out.
Before
bro.
that, like you had Karate Kid 2, and then Karate Kid had a cartoon where they were traveling the world, getting involved in karate adventures and stuff like that.
I don't think I ever saw
That
that.
was it was going to be about. To go back to the Valley competition, I was disappointed as a kid seeing that. And Daniel, this was not a year. You have visibly changed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think I've
Give me
ever checked out the cartoon.
I would like Jaden Smith to come, but then I like them to point out that he doesn't do karate, and we're not sure what you're here for.
I will say though.
Then
like,
again, half of these kids don't actually do karate. It's all mixed martial arts when you're actually looking at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were,
they
what
always-
is the
they just
Brazilian
have
team
a
was
random, like,
had to do capoeira.
bro, these edits on TikTok though, I see a bunch of like Miguel edits. I'm like, oh man, bros came so far, bro.
No, they're
So
fun.
sad. Like I feel like it's gonna be so sad wrapping it up because.
But I feel like it goes
Yeah.
both ways because I feel like Cobra Kai gets a lot of unnecessary.
Oh my god, bro!
Holy
Like
shit,
you go,
show
like going to
does have a lot of
Sam,
crazy
the girl who plays Sam. Oh my god, she
Yeah,
gets
they
so
were
much
both
hate,
hard,
bro. It's
but-
crazy.
One thing they were coming out they said it was a cringe moment, and I still think it's one of the most baddest moments we got. The moment where after Terry and Kenny have the conversation, and then Kenny wins his fights.
Oh,
and
I
then
saw
he,
that.
like starts cranking up.
Yeah, I
the
thought
middle
it was
finger.
cool.
I'm good with that, and I like
Yeah.
how Silver just took it on the chin, like
Yeah,
you know
he
what?
was like, he
I'm kind of
was
proud of you.
He's like, "No."
Because I was getting you.
He was like, "Yeah,
I
I
was
got
getting
you."
you. I'm kind of proud of you, boy. You
I will stab you. But
I'm kind of proud of you. You know what
People
takes
were
me out of it?
using that scene and they were like criticizing it,
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
"Oh, look at this cringe moment." It's like, bro, what do you?
That's not a
What do
I
you
thought that was
want?
awesome.
That
I
was
thought it
him
was-
rejecting the
That
dark
was one of the
side.
least
with
cringe
God.
moments of the entire part.
Yeah, I love
What's
it.
always cringe to me? Oh, sorry. What's always
No,
cringe
you-
to me is anytime Eli fights. I still can't get behind Eli.
Oh,
Really?
Eli's
fighting.
awesome, bro.
What?
I can't. He got into this like late, and I don't know. I
That's
like
crazy,
the-
bro.
Wait, Dimitri or Eli?
Oh wait, Dimitri.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
get behind.
Dimitri,
Eli's
sorry.
Hawk.
Like, you don't like Hawk?
Yeah. No. Sorry. Hawk, I love.
Yeah.
I'm mad they've been messing up his moments this
Yeah.
season. Have we gotten a rift yet? I'm
did.
sorry. Dimitri is who takes me out of it every time I see him. Sorry about
for
that.
sure. But
Agreed.
we
Every
got
time.
a Hawk moment. We got
We
it was
got a-
during the final
yeah.
fight when him and I think it was the Brazilians, they were fighting and they were teaming up. You see,
Oh yeah.
he like flaps his wings and I think he goes like that to somebody or something, and they
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
like,
So
"Oh!"
I saw this on TikTok or whatever, and then it fuck. Don't leak my like. Don't
What are
leak
you
my
doing?
like shit, bro. And then it goes to like, hold on. And then it's that one, but
Aw.
like the top comment, bro, is kind of crazy.
Oh, I don't know if we want to read it.
I
No,
can't
it's not-
see it.
Miguel gave no. See,
Oh.
see, that's the thing. There's so much negativity around this show. It's so unnecessary, and
Yeah.
you got to think about it. Like half of these are adults. They're not high schoolers. I'm pretty sure Sam's like 28.
Oh yeah, Mary
You know what I'm
Mouse or
saying?
whatever.
Like and it's like they're killing it in their roles. So these
Mhm.
people are just salty.
Look at
Gotta
Joe.
admit.
Jolo, bro.
I like
Jolo-
these characters. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
No, I just like these characters. So all they hate people and talk. And then like last year, last season, they were talking about her body weight and all this other stuff. Like leave it alone. They're doing a great job. I even liked a little side adventure with Thor Jr. That was just
You know what's funny? I was hearing people like fan cast him as Scott Summers. And the thing is, at first I didn't get it, but then I was looking at the interviews and his hair is like naturally like the way like he looks like Scott. I'm not gonna lie.
How,
Like you got to look up the
But-
interview now, but I'm saying like he
how
did
tall
it.
is
Like
this kid?
the way he looks in Cobra Kai isn't the
Bruh.
normal look that he carries himself with.
Okay.
But I kept
Also-
thinking about the
No,
the-
you go. You go.
I kept getting the bad boy
Keep doing that.
scene where like, Reggie, how old are you? 16? Man, you at least 35. Every time.
No, like you guys got to
Oh,
remember,
man.
Kyler's
Teenage
like
competition.
the actor for Kyler is like 35 too. Like he's actually like 35.
Oh
It's
damn, you were
crazy.
right.
You looking at him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting.
God, you put a visor in him. Hell yeah.
Like it's crazy because it's like we've this is my first time being introduced to this character.
You
Actually,
didn't
like,
watch
this
Rebel,
actor.
Rebel Moon?
Was he in that?
Apparently.
He's
I
in
mean,
Rebel
so
Moon.
I see a picture of him at at an event for it.
Yeah, I unfortunately saw both movies. I know I didn't see him. The thing is, Rebel Moon was also a Netflix property, so maybe they just sent him an
Yeah.
invite to it due to
Yeah, he's in apparently part 2.
Really? Yeah, I saw that.
I've
Yeah.
stripped my mind from that.
I didn't.
He's
I didn't.
Like-
I didn't post my reaction because we had
He's
nothing
also
good to say.
Guy at the beach in Barbie.
Yeah, I didn't
Really?
see Barbie.
Okay.
There was a whole beach full of
Why?
kids. I
Anyway.
see it, I guess.
Is he
Also,
like one of the kids?
I see a lot of like they're like ranking characters because of how they look, and then it's like that Zara girl, like
Oh,
like
Zara.
she's like everyone's like fucking talking about how hot she is or whatever.
But the thing is, she's like a 13 times
Oh yeah,
champion.
she's
real
a
life.
beast, bro.
So it's like,
I won't go against that.
yeah, realistically, like I think it's like I was saying earlier, I think it's really impressive that they're getting like actual like fighters to do certain scenes because like they don't need to try hard with making sure the camera doesn't show the face because it's a stunt double instead of a an actual.
So
And
I have
it's
something
really
about
cool
that.
to see them put what's up.
I was like going frame by frame in like an episode, and I saw like a shot where I could see all the backup like actors in the, like standing next to each other. Like
Yeah, I don't doubt it. The thing is, this show,
because I saw Kenny. I'm like, dude, that is not Kenny, bro. That guy. That is,
Netflix has a really poor way of doing things. I don't know if you guys have seen Outer Banks. I've
Nope.
posted a scene. I'm sure you could find it somewhere, but there's quite literally a scene where there's a female and then there's a dude and they're running and they're trying to catch the truck and jump on it in time. And they quickly show the scene where they're climbing on the truck. So you see their faces for maybe a half a second. The person playing the girl was a full dude with a mustache and everything. It was awful. It's like, bro, like they didn't even try here. And then there's moments even in this show where I think it was like season 4 or maybe even last season where Silver's fighting and you see him with the sword and you can clearly tell like by the side profile of his face at scenes because he was in the background while they were showing like someone else and you could tell it's a whole different person.
yeah, you'd think they
You know what I'm
put a
saying?
lot more time into shows that do super
thing is,
well on Netflix.
I don't even
Yeah.
care about it. This
like
show is
Stranger
so
Things though. Like I have never seen them mess
Well, you
up on
could s-
that.
You
Well,
can
that's
see
because
it
you
with
can tell the budget's extremely different there too.
there's if it's a crease fight or
Oh
a
my God,
Daniel
yeah.
fight,
Oh,
you
yeah.
will see the stun double a lot.
Yeah,
With
but you kind of
creases,
gotta squint your
Watch
eyes
someone
at
with a whole
that.
different body type.
Like,
You don't
like-
really see Johnny his stunt double all that much.
I'm about to go.
I was
I'm gonna
surprised
go
with him in the
find this photo real
nunchucks. Like
quick.
he must have practiced with that to do that nunchuck scene at the table.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that.
I'm kind of
Because-
surprised that they would have. Well, I guess like for certain things,
How's it
know,
going?
you would bring in a double that you don't want one of your star actors to be getting hurt or anything like that. But like Terry, he's a black belt, man. So like Thomas Ian Griffith, he did that professionally. So
Right.
like it's like
You can tell too for like just even where he is now, like in certain
mhm.
circumstances when he's fighting, like you can just see the form, how natural it is.
Well, he's posted some videos of him still
Really?
practicing.
I don't
and
think I've
stuff
seen
like
Oh,
that,
that.
really?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought maybe it was a body. Maybe we don't know what's going on. But if he's doing stuff he's like, hey, I could have done this. Maybe. Or also his age, insurance. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes when it came to.
He's
like,
younger
doing
than
stuff.
Daniel.
Yeah,
That's-
see, that's
that's
crazy.
Technically.
Because even in Karate Kid 3, well, they had like Tilver being so.
I don't know.
Silver,
what-
Silver.
Yeah, I was gonna say Terry, then I was gonna say Silver. They had Silver like being kind of like the mentor to him, but he's so much more. He's just a little younger than him in real life. It kind of reminded me of the
I
whole
don't
like
know what his parents fed him, but Ralph Macchio, just whatever happened, it's
Yeah.
he's sipping on that youth juice.
it kind of reminds me of what's her name? Is it Jessica Parker Kennedy? In the
Mhm.
Flash, she literally plays the daughter of Iris and Barry, but she's older than both of them in real life.
Yeah, she's
Which
like
I thought
But there
was
was time travel thing in that though. So
yeah, but like
she was playing like a 16-year-old, but
yeah,
she's
she
like
was playing,
36 or something.
someone who was like
oh,
an intern at like the police academy or whatever, like an intern at the she was only supposed to be like 20 at most, and then these other characters are like clearly 30.
I mean, it's not like Tom Welling playing a 14-year-old. And he's like a 6'5" Superman, just like
dude, I didn't realize
like a JoJo character that's like I'm in high school. I'm in high school.
I went to
middle
Fan
school.
Expo Boston, bro, and this dude was casually just walking the show floor next to me. Like some dude almost bumped into me, so I kind of like backed up, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And I look, and then I'm like that's Superman. Like, what are we doing? Like that dude he's a tower. He really is.
Yeah, I met him a few months ago.
Yo, it's always cool to see your photos too whenever you go to conventions, because you're always going like seeing all these people. It's so
I sent you a couple photos. Like these are like 2 different frames too, which is crazy.
I'm forgiving of the
that
adults.
is not Kenny.
That's not Kenny or Devin, bro.
It's definitely Dimitri, but that's not Dev. Yeah, okay.
I'm
fine.
forgiving of the adults, but the kids have had years to be in some kind of training and getting their stuff together to do the simple stuff,
Yeah,
because I mean, like Netflix, at least they put them through these camps, like the kids for sure, like, and they a lot of them apparently, like from what I've seen in interviews and stuff like that, like Mary Mauser and stuff, like she like practices beyond the show and stuff.
That's always good. That's good.
But like Tanner is like, if we're talking like executing the moves, man, like I feel like him and Jacob Bertrand, like out of all the kids, they're like they commit.
I'm sorry,
who are the 2 characters?
Hawk and
Robbie and Hawk.
Robbie.
Yeah, you could tell Robbie. They had a shirtless scene for no reason.
Those are the 2 runner-ups I have for, those are the 2 runner-ups I have to play Sabo in the One Piece live action, and it also reminds me of One Piece in general. Like we see the way they were training for the live action. And
Taz's videos on its Instagram are insane.
The actor Taz Skylar to play Sanji, cooked.
And he learned what for that role though, and it's like become his identity,
a beast, bro.
Exactly, and that's one thing that I really admire when these actors are so.
Oh, I can't wait for that show. That show's so good,
bro. I am such a One Piece fan, man, and we're gonna be getting
no spoilers.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting in. Oh, don't want to say that then. Okay.
No spoilers for what?
I finished
the 30-year-old manga?
We're criticize.
I'm watching the anime for the first time.
I've been watching your videos too, Omni, and I love it. And I love how you just have the straw hat just casually on the ground.
Chopper, where are you at?
There's 3 straw hats on there. I just finished Alabasta.
Really? Oh, so then you know what this hat means?
Yeah, I know who Ace is.
So I'm hoping they cast my boy Jolo.
Yeah, that would be pretty dude, awesome.
I'm rooting for it, man. I don't want to say too much because Draven, obviously.
I have not watched it.
So I don't want to say
I don't think you can call spoilers on 30-year-old material. Like that's when
they're like doing live action. I kind of want to like.
So I can understand it. If it was like, say, The Walking Dead, I can get it. But if they, for Harry Potter, for an example, when
I didn't know that Nami
series, we can't go out and be like, hey, like I'm going to spoil this for you because it's a new way to introduce people to it. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
No, yeah, it's like I get it. If someone just decided to watch the anime without any cause, you could have that mentality. If you're just like the best mentality, you could still have that mentality. But with the live action coming out, it's such a great introduction to this franchise.
And aren't they coming out with another series that shortens it a little bit for people to
get
more better animation or something like that?
Theoretically, yeah, new studio, and theoretically, it's going to be more accurate to the manga, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited for that. For someone who's what's up, bro?
I keep cutting you off. Have you ever seen the slice of life commercials with the One Piece characters? And I guess they're selling ramen or something, but they're in like real high school. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'll shut up for a second. Go ahead.
Oh, you're looking for it? No, I've never seen that, but it's just seeing the dedication that some of these actors from say other shows like that. It's just really cool to see characters from the shows that we love, like the show that we love, Cobra Kai, implement the same type of excitement for that character or excitement for their role. What's to say? Hey, Omni, Miyagi name said in next Karate Kid is Kazuke. Yeah, he mentioned that.
Yes, what's it?
You did mention that. What's the next one? We're a little behind.
Escape.
They have to use stand-ins since some actors are minors and can only work. That makes some sense. That can make sense because
Oh.
I think when Kenny's only 18, so I think when they were filming this, it might have been 17. So that actually makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
They couldn't at least hide
Chill,
it.
nah, they couldn't do that. I mean, they gotta find a way because I was talking to a buddy of mine too, and of course, Keaton, and of course, he was tired of Demetrius shit. But one thing he did say is like, this show is called Cobra Kai, so we got to find a way to tie in everything and just make that make sense. If that, like, I don't know if they're gonna do anything crazy, but I don't know how you guys feel about that. Are you guys cool if they end the show on Miyagi though, or do you feel as though they got to do something else?
I don't care.
I think Cobra Kai with the show should fucking die.
Okay.
Oh, I've definitely seen this, Ant.
Oh yeah, it's cool,
Yeah.
right? So I think Kreese is set up for redemption. I know it might be a far fetch for what we got left, and I think they're going to redeem Cobra Kai.
No, they're
with
definitely
the-
going to. I feel like that's an inevitability.
Do you think? I feel
along with
like-
the sensei, the sensei daughter of the main guy from Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I honestly only saw, like, I've mentioned this prior, but I felt like the only redemption for Kreese is sacrificial. As sick as that sounds, it's just like him just living a happily ever after doesn't make sense to me after everything. So I feel like in order to sacrifice him, I don't think he's going back to prison. I don't think that would work. I think it would have to be him.
Well, the charges were dropped.
Sacrificing himself. Well, I think it would have to be him sacrificing himself for someone that actually, that he actually cared for, such as Johnny. For it to come full circle in a sense, and then maybe that could be a way that Johnny brought back Cobra Kai. Like there's always some type of redemption or some
Cobra Kai never dies.
Yeah, so it's an interest. I don't know. There's a lot of
Until it does, damn it.
And
I think we need to let it die.
I wonder
How
if
do you
they'll like
feel about
tie in the movie at all, like at the end.
I personally
Like,
do not. I'm not. I
I
don't know.
don't
if
think
I'm
they'll do it at
wrong.
all.
This is, of course, the actor for Kenny, and
Yeah, Dallas pretty young.
so I don't know how you guys feel about that.
No.
Not for me. Not for me.
I wouldn't be against it.
I think give him a shot. I mean, I like the actor. I like Kenny. I like he plays
Better than a lot of
really
other
well.
people that put their names in the hat.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just being weird, but for someone who's Puerto Rican, like that's a half that I really want to see.
Oh no,
Or
that's
someone
true.
who's-
That's fair.
Someone who is doesn't even need to necessarily just be Puerto Rican, but someone who's Afro Latino is someone that I really want to put in there for.
I feel that, but how would you feel if you put in the work to learn about the culture, develop the accent, even what I mean? How would you feel about that? Like if
I
you
know,
put in
yeah,
that.
I can understand that. I definitely I can understand that part of it, but I feel like it's just I don't know. I feel like it's kind of complicated at a point,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Especially-
always kind of going to be.
and I feel like it's gonna be really crazy.
So they
'cause-
dropped that casting.
yeah, when they drop that casting, it's gonna be crazy. Because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, I'm gonna support whoever they cast.
Or unless they just do it in like a movie for like a end credit scene. Just-
Yeah, yeah, but I'm gonna support whoever they do.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
just listened to two
it's gonna
songs just
be-
about a light skinned Green Lantern, so I don't know
Well-
how they're gonna feel about.
Oh,
I will say I think
something else.
I think Dallas would probably do a better job because I know the guy who plays Miles Morales in Across the Spider-Verse, he wants
Well,
to
he-
be him,
he's-
and I
he's
just
a lot older. I don't think that would work out.
He's
yeah.
just too
So
old, man.
Yeah, he's great. But
oh, I gotta NPC Miles Morales, bro.
no,
You know,
can't do that. Nope.
come on
Look at
now.
these old heads have no idea who we're talking about.
Yeah, probably not.
Do
So
you
there's
guys
this
know
guy
that-
on
you know that
TikTok,
guy
and
who's
he
on
No.
TikTok? You don't know
No.
what I'm talking about?
No.
he dresses up like Miles Morales and he acts like
Stop
a
it.
robot.
No.
And he's
No.
like, "Hi, I'm Miles
You
Morales."
cannot let him anywhere near a real
I think
project.
he's genuinely crazy too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no,
He's
he's
like
pretty
a
fucked up.
lunatic, man.
is
He
pretty
was
fucked
on
up.
Tyson
He
that
like beats
stream
some guy's
thing.
ass off his stream and like hops back in, just like, "I'll be right back."
Yeah, you can see on the stream a cop went up
cop,
to him
like-
and was telling him he can't record where he was recording because he was on public.
And then he's like, "I'll do my own thing." That's
He's
what
like,
he
yeah,
said to the cop.
he's like, I'm gonna do my own thing. He's like, no,
They
you can do your own thing over there. He's like, you're really starting to piss me off. And I'm like, dude, what are you
Did
doing?
you see the
dude?
one where they found him in the middle of a Costco, just in the top of one of the racks?
Ain't no way, bro.
Yeah, he was filming up there, and they're like, "Dude, you can't do that in here." He's like, "I'm gonna do my own thing."
You know, no, I Nah, that kid is
He's
we
been
gotta
on,
we gotta get a variant in like a timeline
least a
where everyone's an influencer. A timeline where everyone's an influencer. And he's just there.
he's been on Kai Cenat's stream. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
No,
but
yeah, I
he's been-
saw that.
He's
That
been
was
on there. He's doing his like sub alerts and stuff.
He actually met the actor that plays the voice of Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse.
What's his name?
On that stream.
I think of his name.
Shit.
Shamika Moore.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But is there anything else we could talk about before we wrap things up? I feel like we've gotten a lot out there. I know Draven and Ann, if you guys have anything to say, because I know you guys joined a little late, which is totally cool. I love that you guys are here at all.
Do we have like anybody have like a favorite scene from this part? Like, I gotta go with like the they're talking about their like last time fighting with each other. Like they're all in the room together.
I guess, yeah.
Like, damn, bro.
I honestly think I don't know if I want to say it's not my favorite, but for some reason I've watched it more than any other scene. The introduction to Iron Dragons. Seeing them take their knees, take the knees, and then the music playing after Zara says, like, welcome to Barcelona, bitch. And then the introduction to Sensei Wolf. Like, all of that happening at once, I thought was so overwhelming for me.
I think all the music was good too. Like, even the Dublin Thunder, it would turn to like Dublin music. I'm like, damn, they kind of good.
Chosen on the scooter was also a really good scene.
That was a great moment.
Like
after all of that back and forth, that smack talk, and then he just hops on that scooter and like,
that's a Chosen thing, bro.
So how about you guys?
Oh my god, dude, that was so good. I don't know.
Also, the Miguel fight gotta be like the 2v1. It was fire.
Because Miguel's who we'd all expect to be captain at this point, right? So you got to give him this moment, and then like his pep talk to Robbie was really good. Like, I like that.
Yeah, I like that one.
So, but Miguel saying, "Look, this is how it's done," and like take it on the TV1. Like that was awesome.
I think one of my favorite moments, I think, just to pick a different one, is like when they were doing the little like the tag one where there's one person from each team in, but then you rotate in. But then they trapped Yoon, and they were working. They were tagging out strategically.
Binary Bros or Binary Brothers.
Yes, you remember Chosen saying that?
Yeah,
the Binary Bros.
I was trying to remember the sequence of when Chosen yelled Binary Bros.
When they kept
the Binary Bros are back. That's what he says.
Tagging out to like keep him from reaching his partners.
Yeah,
so they kept like knocking his hand away,
his fucking hand
and so he couldn't like get a rest while they were like recharging between tags. I was like, oh, that was so good.
Robbie, when he found out he was played and just went full Terminator.
Yeah. And then Evan says to Johnny, like, what is he doing? He's like, he's making it hurt. I'm like, that's Cobra Kai. That's Cobra Kai. Because Robbie holding him like someone holds like a dog by the scruff.
Dude, like he was like the Robinator.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's been activated.
The Robinator.
I think even Kenny win, like him winning that fight was sick, bro.
Oh, like, like what was it? Like the roll to uppercut?
And he fucking jumped up and like, oh man.
Didn't he get 2 points
in one round? On the one guy and then he hit the guy coming in. And he was like, dang.
And that right there really just shows like Kenny should have been there from the jump.
Oh, yeah.
But it does make sense. Like I understand. The thing is, if you think about it, the two people that we both feel like that we all feel like didn't deserve to be there were the two that had to be a little scummy in order to get there. Dimitri kind of like it was clear that he kind of was a little
underhanded.
Scummy. Underhanded with the whole capture the flag thing with Hawk. Like he kind of it was a cheap shot, And the same thing goes with Devin. Like that goes without saying. Like she made this poor bastard like.
Oh my god. The fact that the truth came out just after Anthony drank that shit too.
I love that moment. I love that moment.
He's like, you're gonna want to go home. You're gonna need the home field advantage. He's like,
look, can you still say mad at a guy that does that? Like, look, it wasn't me, but I did do some stuff. So
also,
yeah,
I will say like the guy like telling him to cut the camera feeds, like, shouldn't you be on the phone with an ambulance right now, like calling the cops or something like that?
Dude, this guy was like, oh my god. Well, he just got rocked earlier.
To be fair,
bro.
That was so team didn't have any real plan.
Again, we got to talk about the toxicity of some of these teams, man. those Russians.
Russians.
They're
Oh my
like
God.
just when that one chick grabbed the other woman up there from the Russian team, she grabbed that lady organizer
Yeah.
and just like pile drived her and said, "Drug test this bitch."
Yeah. Oh my God, these people were so petty. But that
Yeah.
entire sequence when they got disqualified and they're like, okay, the next team with the highest score is in the game, man, or they're back in the tournament. I'm like, this is bullshit. We know who's gonna be making their way back in the tournament. They're like, oh, look at that. It's Cobra Kai. It's like, oh, well, who would have got that? It's just, I'm glad they found another way to make this finale work. And it wasn't a simple like, hey, now we're gonna do the tournament again, or we're gonna have Cobra Kai against Miyagi Do again now that they're back in the tournament. They managed to have another moment. And the thing is, I've said this in like every finale. Every finale has been so insane. They've managed to kind of, some of them are just like, the finales happen to be like the best episodes most of the time. Like season 3's finale, amazing. Season 2 with the school fight, amazing. Even season 5 with the Terry situation was fantastic. So even with this finale, with one of the biggest brawls that we've gotten in the entire series.
I mean, they did say every single part would feel like its own season. So
yeah,
and
they've done that. Stingray. If we had a little stingray in this fight, it'd been perfect.
We got a
reference penis breath, bro. Like, come on now.
We got to reference the Stingray, which I thought.
I saw somebody was like, we usually will either have a tournament or we have a brawl, and this one gave us both.
Oh my God,
a brawl at a tournament.
Oh man. I mean, I feel like they're doing a really good job getting ready to close out such an awesome show.
What if part 3 is just dealing with the fallout and then an epilogue for like what if it's not like what if this was the big thing?
Oh, I don't know if I'd be able to, especially because we have to wait so long for it.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine that they do that. I think that they know that they have to have at least one episode that's so over the top that we're able to forgive like 4 episodes of just dialogue. You know what I'm saying?
So
they got 4
ninjas,
episodes to tie up Miyagi.
Horses.
We get the Marines pulling up with Julie Pierce while the rest of the League of Assassins come out, and it's just like a whole thing.
They're just in a field running at each other.
We're gonna forget it's Cobra Kai for a little bit.
Would y'all come back to these characters in 10 years or so?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
I mean, that's why I'm
Miguel running a dojo.
One. Oh my God, yeah. I think it would be Robbie. I think Robbie, like, starting his own karate franchise and being able to make his own money off of that alone would be the perfect way. And that's why I thought he was going to win this, because he's the only one that hasn't won a tournament. You know, so it's like him winning the biggest tournament and him also being the one who's kind of at the lowest point, like realistically, with the least opportunities due to his prior, record or whatever. Him getting this opportunity to, say start up Cobra Kai the right way, or whatever, or do something in that sense would be amazing.
The white way. I thought you were
but the right way.
That's what I heard, bro.
Hey, Bizzy's out here campaigning for a white guy to go take it away from Miguel in the end.
Yeah, but Miguel got college.
Make Cobra Kai. Make Cobra Kai great again.
But
what happened?
I would love that. I would love for it, like, I feel like that would be the perfect like route for Robbie. I
think it would be great because I think he's shown to be, at least in practice, like a good teacher. Like he did a great job with Kenny, and everything like that. And we've not really seen anything like that with any of the other kids, really.
Robbie's got a lot of wisdom from his mistakes. And yeah. And even this, the only thing you could really do to throw off his character was to mess with his relationship and then introduce alcohol, which apparently he's the only kid on this show that doesn't drink. So
yeah, I thought that was like I thought that was a weird thing. I didn't even think about that, because we've seen literally everybody else drink. But when you go back, I never really took note of that. Like even when they were at that party and Sam got drunk and was having that little alcohol off with Tori, he hadn't touched anything. I didn't even compute that maybe he never ever took anything.
But in Barcelona, is it like 18 to drink though?
Yeah, I'm assuming it is. Most other countries, it's 18.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
most other countries is younger.
Otherwise, this show is just breaking so many rules, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But like that's why they were able to give him it without an issue. Like the bartender clearly knew that the bar was filled with like kids, but he wasn't questioning no ID.
Yeah, but
he's 18.
But they be drinking in the States every episode. I mean,
not for sure.
Yeah, this is a weird mix of like who this show's for because you can watch it with your teenager, but also they're like fucks going
Oh,
off
can we do
and
that too?
and drinking and everything else. So it's kind of like So it's all
I
right, but that's
guess
the
it's
80s,
better than
right?
your child watching
Yeah.
Euphoria, which is another high school.
Hey, I mean, that's the age I grew up in. I just didn't attend any of these things.
It's like you can either watch the high school Cobra Kai or you can watch high school Euphoria. I feel like this is a better option for your kids to
Sure.
watch. You
This
know,
was
like
karate.
realistically.
Yeah, I want to see these characters grow. I want to see what direction they come in, and I'd love to come back to them in like 5-10 years and just maybe up the stakes on what they're doing with the karate. Like I'll be interested in that. So they're more entering the world stage, which because that was one of the great things about Karate Kid Part 2 is that Daniel left the tournament and is like, this is real life. This is life or death. And after you do that in Karate 2, it's kind of hard to go back to like caring about an All Valley tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But,
I'd be interested to continue that.
yeah, do we have anything else we want to say before we wrap things up?
We'll be
One last
back in
thing.
10
Towel
years
Man.
to, what is it?
Towel Man. Like Towel Man. Oh no, you remember Chosen going to go see his love
Oh yeah, Towel Man.
Towel Man.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that's really what
there's a
was
lot
going
more
on, or
I think they couldn't
he
get the
just
actress back for
assumed?
some reason, and they gave her own happy ending. So I think,
No, I think there's a
Well,
lot,
I mean, like
there's a lot more.
the guy was like, I can get her. Like I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on. Maybe that was like a relative or something, and Chosen just because he just assumed and left.
And he's already in such a bad headspace. Like it makes sense.
Well, I kind of like him with Cobra Kai Sensei.
I did like that, but I don't know
yeah.
if that's going to be permanent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. So many plot threads to tie up besides just the tournament.
For sure, and then we only got 5 episodes to do it, so it's going to be interesting.
That's why I'm like
5
wondering if
episodes
it's
in
going
the
to be
movie.
just wrap up.
Yeah, so I understand where you're coming from there. I'm a little nervous, but it would make sense for the episodes to be longer.
5 episodes of wrap up would
like
be
they don't need
a
to be
little
an
rough,
hour, but I
though.
feel like if we go borderline 48, 50 minutes every episode, it'd be interesting.
Well,
But what, you don't want 5 episodes, Draven, of pure epilogue?
Maybe a little bit of arguments in there. Come on. We need one more Johnny and Daniel fight.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. It's gonna.
That'd be like the Rocky. That'd be the Rocky fight at the end. That'd be the Rocky fight. Like one more fight, ding ding. Like
we'll get what the Apollo and Rocky at the end.
Yeah. If Miyagi killed somebody out of anger, do you think that tarnishes Mr. Miyagi, or just shows that he wasn't perfect either?
No,
I think it's just that he wasn't perfect.
That's what I was kind of scared about, because I'm like, if they do the route where it's like they're kind of diminishing Miyagi's character, like in the sake of like, well, I thought he represented this. Miyagi-Do can't be a thing anymore if like the person who founded it or the person who's been running it is, a killer or whatever. That means we got to go back to Cobra Kai, hence the show Cobra. I don't want them to do something corny like that.
But, like you can show growth. I was saying, like it's just like that's why Miyagi-Do exists. If something did get out of hand and he hated himself after that, somebody would never want to do that again.
Right, because think of where he's at. He lost his hometown. He lost his best friend. He lost the girl. He married somebody else, lost them and the baby.
That's a big jump.
Came back from a war just to be locked in an internment camp with the people that didn't help his wife and kid.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's a lot he's probably dealing with, and to show that he can grow from that. I hope we get one more CGI conversation, one more last Daniel Son and Mr. Miyagi moment, and I'm okay with it being CGI and not being the best.
All right, yeah,
the same.
Nah, yeah, I mean,
because I think like to think that invalidates all of the teachings that he gave over the years discounts the entire point of it. Because like everybody there has made mistakes, everybody has changed and evolved. The whole thing, like even Daniel was Cobra Kai once, quote unquote. It's just like the whole idea of it is just like the problem is like Daniel's just has Miyagi on this pedestal as this flawless god almost, that he forgets that he is a human too. Yep. And he met him as an old man who's lived a long life by that point and went through some shit. He saw a little bit of it when he was drinking that night and he had that breakdown. It's, he didn't meet that version of him. He just knows the results of all of that experience, which is why Miyagi teaches the way he teaches.
Because he's went through it. He's
been
gained that
there.
wisdom, like Robbie. Like Robbie, he's gained that wisdom through error. And I think I'm open to seeing that. I'm open to that helping them all feel like they can let Kreese or accept Kreese's redemption. I'm even up for a Terry Silver. Like after getting the backstory for everybody, and I love this about the show is they show how these things are born out of fear and pain and hurt, and how they didn't or did process it. So I don't know. That's one thing I like about this show.
All right.
Do you think Terry will be redeemed? I know you're trying to end.
No. I'm not sure. No, if you guys want to keep going, you can. I just feel I don't want to like burn anyone out.
I think we'll, like you said, I don't know if he'll sacrifice himself. I don't know what's going to happen as far as like the end result for Kreese, but I almost 100% feel like we are going to get like some kind of swing back from the edge for him. Yeah. And I think this is going to be a wake-up call, I would hope, seeing with what just happened here, what his ideology led to, because it's all been about giving them the tools to defend themselves, like preparing them for the harshness of the world. But then this is the result of those actions, and it was in the end for really nothing that matters that much. But do you think
he's gonna sit there? He's gonna be like, maybe this wasn't that serious.
But do you see Terry getting something?
No,
I think that Kreese. I think that well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think Kreese gets redeemed when he actually accepts that Terry's behavior is partly due to his teachings, Johnny's behavior is part to his teachings, Tori, and this kid that died. But I think he's going to reach out to Terry, and whether Terry takes her or not, I think that's going to be the tension. I think he could be if he kind of accepts if they have that dynamic, but I think that's going to be Kreese's last failure.
All right.
Yes. Like he, dude. What if he? Oh my God! What if he? He has his little like epiphany moment. He goes to Silver to be like blah blah blah. He accepts that ownership for all of those mistakes and everything you put him through. And what if Terry still just like yoinks him?
Appreciate it, North. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support.
No, split that.
I need my cut. No. I don't know. I like that idea. And it can go either way.
Terry should go to prison, man. He was dumping toxic waste somewhere else.
Yeah, he's ended a lot of people. And they ruined a lot of environments.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that didn't have anything to do with Kreese.
So what else do we need to talk about? Do you guys think that we'll see the crazy grandfather again, Kim's grandfather?
Probably one more time. I think we'll see like maybe an interaction with her and him
when he loses power, when she takes over for him, or Kreese takes over. Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing.
Really?
He forgets to change his diaper one day, and he just dies.
Or can you imagine Johnny running the real Cobra Kai?
Oh my God!
He becomes the new Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
I'm the head of the dragon now, or the serpent.
So someone said this, plus the episodes need to be re-edited. And we were mentioning earlier how there are some shots where you can see stunt doubles and different things. I'm assuming that's what he's implying by. I think we're good the way things are. I think it adds kind of some humor. It's like the jeans guy in Mandalorian. I just think it's like one of those things where it's like you see it, it's fun. I don't know where you guys stand there. Do you think they need to freaking re-edit?
No, I think it's part of the charm of the show. I think.
Yeah. Super campy stuff, so that just makes it a little entertaining.
Damn.
You all right, buddy?
My back hurts, bro. I pulled my back at work today.
You're 12. You shouldn't have back issues.
Oh, bro, my back actually hurts. Like,
I
took a bath today, bro.
Now you were definitely like trying to mimic some of the moves from Cobra Kai while your camera was off. You were over here.
When I watch the show, I do karate too.
Yeah.
Dude, no joke. Like last part, I was like, every season, I'm like, dude, I need to sign up for a class.
I tried jiu-jitsu. Oh my God,
my buddy tried it, and he was just like, yeah, it's not for the week. He's like, yeah, they put me up against like I guess this woman he was going up against, and he was like ready, and she like whipped his ass. Like,
Oh, this girl.
the technique
me
is
too,
so
bro.
like you
She
need to be
fucking
good.
choke my ass out, tap out.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Ugh.
I couldn't do that shit.
I did
I don't think
jujitsu once in high school. I was like, I'm good. I would like to do like
I
something.
wrestled, man. That's it, bro. I'm not doing
I'd,
anything else.
I'd rather do some like Kempo or karate or something like that, but we don't have any schools anymore. We did when I was a
you got the-
kid, but
you got the
there's
Y-
none now.
You have a
There's
YMCA?
zero.
They do it at the Y.
They got
They don't have-
taekwondo.
They don't have
over,
karate there.
over at the Salem Mass Y where I'm at. They have like taekwondo for
Everything is
for, like
jujitsu
5-year-olds, but that's it.
or aikido. Those are the only things I can find here.
I did Krav, boxing, and fencing as I was growing up, and then I thought like when I got older that I
There's
would
boxing,
try.
there's Krav here, but like I just want something else, man.
Yeah, I went to go box, and then they shut down the boxing team at my high school.
Oh,
They had
I know,
boxing
man.
team at your high school? Damn.
Yeah, we the Salem Witches had a whole bunch of different teams, man. We had
Damn.
we had
Wait,
box-
that's
Wait,
your
that
team
was
name?
your school?
yeah, I'm in Salem Mass, so like the school name is Salem
That's
Witches.
a badass
Salem
school
Witches?
name.
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
Yeah, all those witches that died there would love that.
Yeah, we're that's what all of our jerseys, everything. It just said witches, and we had
This
like
is
little
what we
witches.
burned for.
So when they go to
Yeah,
other
they
schools,
burned-
they should have hogwalk
Hogwarts.
intros with I can't say it with the cloaks and everything.
like Hogwarts.
With Hogwarts or do the Undertaker intro and stuff. Y'all go to other schools.
Nah. Yeah, all of our schools are Salem Witches, which isn't the best. I think that's why I don't care about Halloween and shit, because it's like they're like making so much money off of like such a tragedy.
Yeah, but y'all can't let school make fun of your name like the Salem bitch.
I'm sure a lot of like the rivals.
So,
that
yeah, I was gonna say, what are the rival schools named?
they're not like anything crazy, like the Beverly Panthers.
the
or-
Black Cats.
No, it's none of
They
that.
missed an opportunity there. They missed an opportunity.
Yeah, they did like the witch hunters or some shit like
Yeah.
stuff. But no, yeah, we didn't have a karate team. I'll tell you that. I mean, I don't know if doing karate in high school was the coolest thing either.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick, bro.
But
I
yeah,
wish.
I like this is like the Metalocalypse where like metal music was the biggest music ever. I like how there's a karate world where the karate is the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Karate Kid
they
world.
even did a Family Guy skit. They were like, oh yeah, Karate Kid if it was in real life, and it had Daniel and Johnny like, well, I guess we'll have to figure it out on the karate mat, and then the jocks go up to them like, oh, you both do karate? You're both fucking losers. It's just one of those things. But I mean, I love the show, man. I love the franchise. I think they're doing an incredible job. We have 5 episodes left, which we're gonna have to bang out, and hopefully they can do a phenomenal job wrapping things up, but at the same time giving us fans a lot to be excited about, such as great action sequences, maybe a cameo or two, and also tying up some relationships and giving these characters the endings they
The
deserve.
baby will be born.
The baby will be born, and hopefully,
Or she'll die in
be okay.
childbirth.
yeah, let's
And
not do
name
that.
Daniel.
Oh my god.
God,
And he'll name it
Imagine-
Baby Daniel.
baby Daniel.
Also,
Oh
I
my
found it kind of crazy
Nah,
that
bro,
they
These
flew
guys are gonna
from
name him like John Kreese,
Oh,
Lawrence.
one more thing for me, but I found it crazy. They flew from Barcelona back to California and then got right back on a plane.
I'm
and
pretty
just-
sure it's like a similar flight to like Japan too. That's like a 16-hour flight, I think.
No, I did it
So
last
the time
year.
is not connecting. Also, why did Kenny show up with them when they were going back into the hotel room? They meet up at the airport.
Probably. That makes sense.
Somehow.
Who's
Doesn't-
paying
I
for
wouldn't
it?
Logistically, it
I
doesn't
wouldn't
make
overthink
They
sense.
flew past his house, picked him up.
The one thing you don't want to do is overthink it with this show.
We know Kreese can enter a shadow and appear in another country. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let's not
With
think
a
about
record.
it.
Well, he just flew in a straight line instead of a curved line. That's how he did
Oh
it.
my
yeah,
He get
God.
there.
you're right. He took the
It's
real
just
path.
full logic, man. Come on.
That destroyed me, bro. I
He
was
actually
like,
took
no
the
way.
monorail that goes through the earth.
I was like, there's no way this is a real
Dude,
thing.
when Johnny said that, I was like, God, that is the most Johnny thing I think we've had in a long time.
Oh, favorite moment. Excuse me. Do you want to talk to him? No, I don't want to talk to him. Like when Miguel didn't want to talk to the plane. I was like,
That was good.
oh, okay. Yeah.
And they even took out the bum that was giving them a hard time, which was cool.
Who I thought was the potential plant by Cobra Kai to fuck with them on the
Did
plane.
you really?
I wasn't sure.
No one.
Cobra Kai, bro.
I don't blame you. No one's safe anymore.
How I thought it was going to play out is they were going to fight that guy before the plane got took off, and then he was going to be put on a no flight list, and Johnny got kicked off the plane. That's how I was going to stay in Barcelona. That's how I thought it was going to play out, and I thought it'd be funny if he had to take a boat back.
Or took a ferry.
Yeah, and then he gets back after like weeks, and is like, "Oh, we had to name the baby something, so we named him Daniel after your best friend."
I thought that would be crazy. Now, when they showed up and you see the blood on the bed, that was a lot.
Yo,
yeah. But again, I think that was
so
some of the best acting that we've gotten in the show, with Johnny kind of falling on his knee and like putting his like head in her lap or whatever, and just seeing Miguel like saying to like Johnny, like, you told me everything was gonna be okay. And
Zabka's gotten a lot of opportunities in this show to really kind of show that he can actually he can fucking act, man.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's ever really gotten any kind of credit for it for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, he definitely didn't get that in How I Met Your Mother, but I loved him over there. But this has definitely been the best opportunity, I think, specifically with him being able to be the star, and I think it's been.
I say it all the time. This is how you continue a franchise with people who care, with stories that go organically. That then you see the characters where they can be at in life. You don't just regress coming back to where the last time you saw them decades ago. And I'm so glad we got this for something that started off on YouTube Red or whatever. Like to get this journey with these characters and in a way. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in another generation we get a continuation of this story. I'm hoping that the movie doesn't mess this up in any way.
Same. That's the one thing I want. As long as it doesn't like tarnish this or retcon anything or like, I don't know. I'm just worried about it being the last thing we get and it just kind of spits on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's getting ready for his match, so I'm going.
My back, bro.
About to do the Goku stretch.
We're doing like BIZZYBRON After Dark with the way he was posed.
Telling people for only $19.99, you can know everything behind the scenes.
North already bought their
behind the scenes.
But I mean, I feel like we've gotten a lot of stuff, man. I mean, I am really looking forward to part 3. I would really hope you guys are able to return for that chat. Omni, of course, we've been doing this for a very long time. I think we did it for season 3, we did it for 4 or 5, and now we're coming up to 6. So I appreciate you being around, man. And of course, and Draven, you guys tagging along has been fantastic. I really appreciate you guys being here.
I'm out of coffee.
Thanks,
I really hope you guys plug in your channels. How about you, Ant? Where can we find you?
You can find me on JVS as a part-timer, like the thing says at the bottom of my name. You can find me here when Busy invites me, or at 3 Black Geeks with random conversations.
Perfect. How about you, Draven?
Draven Reacts, basically on everything. My YouTube is just my regular name, Draven Mayberry. So
yeah, and if you guys like Cobra Kai content, this dude, it's like he didn't look at the sun for like 3 days. Like he dropped.
I mean, look at him. He doesn't know what a sun is.
And I wish I was kidding, but he dropped, and I'm not kidding when I say this, at least 30 videos already for Cobra Kai alone.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I wish I was over exaggerating.
Hitting us with the Zoolander.
Hitting us with the smolder.
Giving us that blue steel.
But and Omni, where can we find you, my man?
The GOAT.
Of course.
That everywhere.
Omni Media, and you're pushing out a lot of content. You just dropped your Cobra Kai, of course, reaction today. Hell yeah. And then you're going through One Piece, which I've been paying attention to. I fucking love it.
Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois.
Arcane.
Oh, and, dude.
Arcane,
bro.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm ready to cry.
Arcane.
The last episode. Fantastic.
Well, I have so many thoughts on Arcane. Yeah.
So good. It's a whole different stream.
We gotta wait.
Yeah,
we gotta.
And also I do want to say for Superman and Lois fans, we may or may not be interviewing one of the cast members tomorrow. And we may not, or may not be going live when Superman and Lois ends and having that cast member on the live stream.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that. Cool. And yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone here that's been here. And I look forward to seeing more of you guys. And again, everyone that has watched the stream, make sure you're liking, subscribing to everyone here. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.